The Pinball Network is online. Launching
Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
All right. Wow, it has been a long time. But we are back. We're finally able to record. So I hope everybody's good to go. Tom, what are you drinking? Are you
I got
your
this
Mountain Dew?
Crystal Light lemonade thing.
That's really going to get you going. You ready? You're pumped?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Travis, are you good? What are you drinking? You ready? You revved up?
Yeah, I've got my honey green tea in my Mario Brothers coffee cup because I'm a man-child.
Well, look at you.
Sexy.
All right. I'm hitting the button.
We're three guys who like to talk pinball, so we came up with a clever name. We're Joel and Travis Scott who talk pinball, and we call ourselves Triple Drain, Triple Drain, Triple Drain. We're Triple Drain.
I'm not lying, but I'm pretty sure Travis was yawning easily half of that song. Like your mouth opened in the middle, and I was surprised you were done by the end of the song.
I was not yawning. I was doing vocal warm-ups. That's what that was.
Just one open mouth the whole time. But all right. Well, we are here. It is episode 42. We're cruising right along. First and foremost, we are so sorry, listeners, for the delay. It has, what is it? We recorded a while ago. Like it was at least a month ago.
And why were we delayed?
Yeah.
Joel?
Well, for the first 2 weeks after we released, there was like no news. There was nothing. We were still waiting on Venom. Nothing. There was nothing. So we were talking. We're like, is it worth recording? There really wasn't anything. There really wasn't anything to talk about. So we're like, we'll give it another week.
You two shot me down.
What? Did we?
Tom
wanted to record. No. I did not shoot Tom down because
that's
Tom
true.
Is
it was Joel.
Beauty.
It was
Joel. We were supposed to record a week and a half ago, and Joel's
He's like, I live a busy life here. I have Joel with friends. I gotta interview Keith Alwyn or somebody.
No, it's
what it is. And then tonight, freaking Diva, we're here on time for the time that he told us to be here. And hey guys, I'm going to be late.
Yeah,
my dog's got to go to bed. I got to put my dog to bed.
I got to put the kids to bed and deal with a dog. Yes, my wife was real into the idea of getting a puppy, and even though our son is 3 and still not sleeping through the night consistently, apparently this is the right time to add a puppy into our life. And we have a 5-year-old daughter as well. So if you can't judge by the or tell by the sarcasm, don't do that. Don't add a puppy when you don't have consistent sleep. It was a mistake, but I feel like my voice, I let my opinion, I shared my thoughts on it before we got a dog, and I feel like they were received, but maybe not taken to heart. I don't know, Tom. Do you know anything about that?
You're almost as tired as Travis's camera,
which is already out. Yeah.
It sounds like, Joel, that you have a lot of authority in your house. Is what it sounds like.
We run a ship. It's a 50-50, kind of ship of we both, carry the load and make sure we're pulling our weight here. But there are certain decisions that really don't feel 50-50. But I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, so we have a dog now. Yep, and I had to deal with the dog, and here we are. But hey, we're here. We're finally here.
So if Joel goes missing, Tom, for the next month again, it just means that his wife listens to this podcast.
Well, okay.
Or his dog is lost, and
so he's searching for the dog. He probably gets the golf cart out and just goes around.
Yeah, I'll see how far I can get on one charge of a golf cart. I'll get about 4 miles, and then that'll be me running away. The record button is going, by the way. I know I made the mistake. We're recording. Yes, we're doing well.
All right, good. Awesome.
But no, there wasn't a ton of news, and then there was a lot of travel. There was a lot of travel between, like, I had a family thing that I was traveling for, and then you guys both had tournaments that, it was just, I think even didn't Super Series even happen in the last month? It was
Super Series has already happened, Joel. Yeah.
Not Super Series, but there was the huge 1000%. Thing in District 82.
Pinburg. Pinburg happened.
What was the huge thing? The summer something. Summer series.
The summer something.
Summer something. It's
You're
a big.
Right.
It's a
You're
big
over the target.
old.
Great job, Joel.
There was a bunch of people that went to it. I know that was something Tom's like,
which I had to miss.
Well, you did, didn't you have like wedding anniversary or something?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
a wedding anniversary. No, my nephew was getting married.
Oh, well, I remember seeing a picture of you in a tie, so I just assumed. But no, that was like a whole week thing, though. You're like, yeah, I can't do anything from Tuesday to the following Monday. I mean, it was like, yeah. So I get it. Anyways, that's all of our excuses. It's been a long time, but here we are.
That's all of Joel's excuses. Tom and I would have recorded, but our overlord is like, no.
I said you're welcome to do it, and Travis is like, you think I'm going to figure out Zencaster? You can't even figure out your camera. There's zero chance.
That is true. That's
zero
true.
chance. Zero chance. But
so
anyways,
Venom, right?
Here we are.
Yeah.
So let's look at our list. Venom is really the main thing. What has happened to us in the last few weeks? Venom is the main thing. But I do want to. I want to side tangent before we dive into Venom because and I want to talk about this machine right here behind me. I have a Rick and Morty. Here behind me, and there was
actually getting played since you have a Venom right behind your head.
It was getting played a lot before I got Venom.
Okay,
but Rick and
I
Morty.
Like how Joel's like, there's this new pinball machine out. We're going to talk about it.
I don't want to forget.
Let's talk about this one that came out 3.5 years ago.
If you look at our list has 4 points, and Rick and Morty is none of them.
Exactly.
So I want to make sure.
What the F are you doing right now?
I want to talk about. I think this pin. Okay, Tom
freaking
has
diva,
this pin.
Tom. We do all this pre-production stuff, and we can't even get the number one.
Maybe I just talk to Tom. You know.
Okay, that's fine.
Travis, work on your camera or whatever.
Yep,
you know,
you're right.
He moves the mic away. I want to talk about Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
I was borrowing a Spider-Man. We talked about Spider-Man. Spider-Man Vault Edition was the last we talked about that, and that ruffled some feathers. Well, that Spider-Man was sold, so I had a big open spot in my lineup, and I needed something until Venom showed up. And a buddy of mine in the area had a Rick and Morty, and he was like, "Sure, borrow it. Have a great time." My buddy Chris, and he actually streamed it the night we streamed the game. I've only played Rick and Morty a handful of times. Every time I've played it at a show, it's either been down or it's in a broken state. Or if I've played it on location, it's brutal. Like I get 1 or 2 games in and that's it. So I just haven't really had much time on this. Now that I actually have it in the house and actually been playing it, these guys, what are you doing? What? What?
I'm just watching Tom.
Travis react.
You guys are just looking at each other laughing? You know?
I thought you were going to gush over this pen. Then all of a sudden,
I said it was broken. I said all my experience before. All my experience before was negative. But now that it's here and it's working, and I actually have a chance to put time on it,
now it's positive.
This
right?
game's really fun.
Yes, it is. I agree.
You just gotta wait. You just gotta wait a second.
Imagine a game working.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I think we should probably clarify that, right? That a working pinball machine is typically better than a broken one.
Oh, you haven't played Thunderbirds.
No.
This is a message to all you operators out there. Make sure your games are actually working. For
people
Joel.
prefer that. People prefer that. Yeah,
they do.
Same thing with tournament players. Tournament players prefer games that are working well compared to just junky games.
Tournament players prefer that every fucking switch in the game works. And we won't get into that.
Okay, so Rick and Morty. Why is Rick and Morty great? And what I will tell you is the game is clunky. That's my negative. The game is clunky. But once you accept that the layout of the game is clunky and it's going to be a challenge. Once you accept that and get past that, the code of the game is actually a lot of fun. The modes in the game are a lot of fun. They're very unique. And the overall theme in it is Rick and Morty to a T. Like it's the immersion of the game and the integration of the game's hilarious. And that's the last part is it's freaking hilarious. It is such a fun and funny game to play. Travis, you're really stuck on a thought. You've been stuck on it for 10 seconds now.
So you're saying if you get past the bad parts, the pin is fun.
I would say most people, when they step up to a pinball machine on location, they're not going to hear it. And typically when you're playing pinball, it's hard to look at this LCD. So what are you experiencing initially? You're experiencing the shots, you're experiencing the layout, and you typically experience the brutality. So if you put $1 into the game and you drain very quick, it doesn't matter how great the game is, you're going to be like, this game sucks. And you're going to move to the next game. that to me is this game is a challenging layout. But when you have it in your house and you're not having to pump money into it and you can just keep playing and you can start to learn where some of these challenging shots are, that's when the game really opens up and becomes a lot of fun. And I think some people don't have the patience or the money to keep putting quarters or dollars into a game to get past that challenging point. Like I think Turtles gets a bad rap because I think people play Turtles and they're like, this game sucks because it's too hard. And they never get far enough to actually experience the code or the whatever. But Rick and Morty, I think that's why like a Keith Elwin game, you can just step up to it and it shoots well. And so people are immediately finding satisfaction in the game and they're going to keep playing it. And then they start to experience the code and all the other good stuff. But if a game shoots poorly or is very challenging, it's hard to get people past that initial barrier. I'm not wrong on that, right?
We can give you validation if you want validation.
I just don't know anymore. I look at your face and it's just there. And I just don't know what you're gonna do.
Show some emotion, Travis.
I'm listening intently.
Okay.
Because I appreciate your view on Rick and Morty.
Joel, I've been watching a lot of lawyer TV, so I'm gonna. What about Avengers? A lot of people don't like Avengers, and that game shoots like butter.
Yeah, but I think people give it enough time. Like they give it enough time to like, okay, I'm shooting shots, but I don't know what I'm doing. But I feel like there are certain games, Turtles is one of them, and I think Rick and Morty is one of them, where they're like, or even like Star Wars, some of the brutality of that layout, even in the plunge where you immediately drain, they're just like that ball. I don't even, or Ghostbusters, it's like. It all happened so fast, and I don't know if I want to put another $1 in and lose the ball in 10 seconds. Like it's like they can't get past that. And so that to me is, I've been really impressed with the game. And the big part of it is if you're a Rick and Morty fan, it does Rick and Morty incredibly well. It is really funny. The game is really, really funny. The call outs, the fact that they got Justin Roiland, I think is the guy's name, to actually do a gazillion call outs that are pinball specific. You'll hear things that as you're playing it over the course of a few hours that unique call outs that are just really funny. And then the modes.
How's Justin Roiland doing now?
Not good. Is it Justin Roiland or Dan Hard? I think it's Justin Roiland.
I think it's Justin
I don't
Roiland.
think he's going to be coming back to do any call outs for the new code updates or anything.
But the other thing about that game is the modes are great. Like the modes are very unique. They feel like they feel different every single one you play, and I really like that. I really like mode-based games that the modes are unique and fun. And then the other thing I love about it is the dimensions. The dimensions are the fact that as you're playing the game, dimensions completely change the game, whether it's the lighting or the sound or how things score or like ramps don't work or this doesn't work. And it just makes everything feel different every time you play. And that to me, I think what's tough with a pinball machine is if it starts to get old or you feel like you're just doing the same thing over and over again, that's when people typically get sick of a game. And I just really like the variety that's in that game. So my overall view is I'm really glad I've had it this long because I think it's gotten a bad rap, but I understand for some people that own it and still own it, I understand why. And like Tom, you still own yours.
I'm
I
looking at it right now.
Yeah, I remember asking like, why do you own it? And I'm curious what your thought is.
It's not Halloween, Joel.
Well, you don't. There's nothing in your life contract of I have to own a spooky game, and so this is the best of the worst.
No, I really like the theme, and I like the shots on it and the brutality of it, and it keeps me entertained. So that's why I keep it around.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. I'm just saying if it sucks though, because I think on location, if you can't force yourself to keep playing to get better at the shots, and if you can't hear the game, like the humor is so good in this game, and you got to be able to hear it. And that's one thing I hate about location play is certain locations are just so loud that you just totally miss out on an audio package of a game, and that can really impact the overall experience. But I don't know. For me, I'm very impressed with Rick and Morty. I've really enjoyed having it, and that's the end of my tangent. And Travis, you said before we started recording that you had one, but you were so far down on the list that you actually sold your spot just because you played a ton of it on location? I mean, what was your feeling or view of it when you?
I enjoyed it. It's by far my most favorite spooky. It doesn't, to me, whenever I play it, it doesn't feel like a spooky, if that makes sense. It feels like it's kind of its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the shots for what they are. They are challenging. It's not the best layout ever because there is a lot of clunk there. But for me personally, I kind of like that just because it makes something challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that type of challenge. Plus, I like the show. I watched the show before and it was enjoyable. So,
yeah. So any of the listeners that are Rick and Morty fans, like, and if that's a dream theme of yours, I think it's a fun game. And I will tell you, having the pop bumper down at the sling is awesome. It's really fun. I would love to see more unique stuff like that because it still feels like a normal layout, but that it's enough of a change that it really feels unique. But the other thing that really stands out to me though is the magnet save or the magnet ball save on the right, instead of it just being like a Black Knight where you hit the button and it just goes on and it just grabs the ball. This, it's like it's a pulse. So as you hold the ball down or the button down, it pulses the magnet and you get a little more control with that. And the way you can like kind of slow the ball down or whip it back into play or it's a really, really fun feature that I would love to see more games.
How about that stage ball fast lock mechanism on it?
That got my brother so many times. And it's like we almost had to warn him, like, Jared, you're in this like portal shot, it's just I love it.
Is it faster than the one on Venom?
Yes, I would say it is. But that's a great transition. Unless anybody else, we'll just.
How would you compare it to Halloween?
So, Halloween, where it's like, where'd the ball go? Look around, bleh, and it just kind of dribbles out. It's just it's a complete stop and go elevator. Just so
it's unique because the layout and the rules, it's totally different than what anything else spooky has done.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think that's what drives a lot of people to enjoy the game for what it is because it just feels like its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the assets and everything, at least with the theme, it just feels like it's integrated very well too. I mean, anything you look at, it could always be better, of course, but for what it is, the way that they got the modes, the way that they have the dimensions, the sounds, and the humor in it too, I think that pulls it a long ways. To me, that's the most enjoyable parts of the game.
I completely agree. The humor that's something, the more that I get into pinball, the games that typically draw me back are the ones that are going to make me laugh or the ones that I know are just fun, and that fun factor is typically funny or humorous or something. Like, I mean, sure, Godzilla isn't like cracking jokes, but it's campy and it's just a fun, lighthearted theme kind of thing. Which isn't like a dig on like Godfather. Like Godfather, I enjoyed it, but Godfather is very just
Godfather's hilarious. You don't know the comedy in it?
No, I'm not following the comedy in Godfather. No. Before I should transition into Venom, but I'm going to just make one, another side comment because we mentioned Godfather.
Why not? Let's do it.
Tom, you're a Godfather owner. You're not a CE owner, but JJP did release accessories, and so a topper instead of two guys shooting at you with coils, you only get one. And then
like
all the other CE bells and whistles, you can get those, but instead of gold, they're silver. Do you care? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, it's nice that they're offering it, but it's not something I'm going to get.
No, you're not planning on getting any of them? Nope.
I don't think so. I mean, they come as a package right now, so
what I've heard is, yes, they are sold to distributors as a package, but it is up to the distributor if they want to like open the package and start to sell things individually. But then you're up to the distributor on whether or not they get stuck with, well, people wanted the topper, so now I'm stuck with 3 horsehead shooter knobs,
No.
So I don't know. You are typically an LE buyer, and in this situation, the LE, which is the CE. Yeah, but this is the CE version. I find it very
the LE
interesting.
is like the standard version of the game.
Correct. I'm saying you're typically an LE buyer in Stern world. So that would be the equivalent of the CE and JJP world. I just think it's very interesting that essentially all the bells and whistles that the CE had, they're basically selling to everybody else just with a color change. And I think some people probably prefer the silver over the gold. And I find that very unique. I mean, I know there was an argument with Cactus Canyon with the SE Plus that they're like, the whole reason I bought the LE is because the topper, nobody else could get that. And then now people can get that. So I'm trying to think of an equivalent there of, if Stern sold. Well, this isn't the best
like
example
if they put
because
a topper on the 60th anniversary of James Bond, and then
the
all of a sudden,
exclusive topper, and then they
is that
sold
what you mean? Something like that.
Sold it. Well, I was trying. Yes, that's a valid point. But I'm trying to think. I mean, LE in the Stern world is just different powder coat, and then the only thing that's exclusive is the mirrored back glass and the art blades. And so
let's talk about
the
that.
signature and the signature. Yes, the signature.
So Stern has done. First they did the 40th of Elvira, was it? Something like that.
Yep.
And then they did the same thing with Jurassic Park with the 30th. I mean, in some respects, those are limited packages that they've changed. So they came out with a limited edition game, but now they're coming out with something different that's limited edition. And I know JJP's done the same thing. You're not following me, Joel?
No, I am. I'm just trying to. Didn't Jurassic Park 30th come out like 2 days after we recorded? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah,
we haven't talked about Jurassic Park 30th, have we?
I don't think we have.
I don't know. I have one in my game room though.
I know. Travis owns one.
It's a lot of fun. It plays just like Jurassic Park LE. Go figure.
But the powder coat is different.
Oh
and
yeah,
the art package is different.
Chef's kiss. I love
why?
the powder
I mean,
coat.
why? Maybe that's a question. Travis is like, why? Why did you decide to buy the Jurassic Park 30th when premiums are available?
Counterpoint. Why not?
How many discussions have you had in your marriage where you responded that way? Where Monica asks you a direct question and you respond with why not?
You never self-implicate. You always just reverse it. Uno reverse card on everything.
Yeah.
No, I got it because my wife wanted the game.
Okay.
I planned on getting a Jurassic Park Premium before, and then when I realized that the 30th was coming out, I just waited, and then when it came out, I said, okay, I'm gonna get this. But I ended up giving up Avengers LE, which I never thought I would do, but I am getting Avengers Pro, so I figured that's a decent trade-off right there.
Good trade.
Because I was just thinking about which direction do I want to go with this, and I realized that my Avengers LE, I had it basically set up like a Pro.
Because you had the subway turned off?
Yeah, the subway was broke for a long time, and then I just left it on just to play like a Pro in general. And the only differences were the Captain Marvel ramp and then the Ant-Man scoop, and that was about it.
Oh, you didn't even do the because the subway's off, so the saucer doesn't even go up and down.
Well,
it could.
It could. I just, I could bypass. It would still do its normal thing, just without locking the balls. But you hardly ever run into it in tournaments. So I just use it as a Pro because that's the version you typically see out there. And it plays a lot different, a lot more difficult if you do that. Yeah. So, that's just reasons why I did that. And plus, I like Jurassic Park. I skipped out on an LE before a few years ago and decided when I knew that the 30th was coming out, just wanted to get it, and the wife wanted to get it. So you don't say no to Monica when she wants pinball.
Yeah. And she doesn't say no to Keith Elwin. She is a fan.
Nope. Yep. She's going to get any of those pins. So So I guess I'm due to get another premium or LE here in just few months.
Oh, it's
coming up pretty quick.
Elwin's next game. Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad you got one. Tom? We didn't. I don't think we talked about this. Tom, do you own Jurassic Park? You own Jurassic Park, don't you?
I have the premium right over by Rush.
The premium, okay. Because I was curious if you had the LE.
So I originally had the Pro, and just upgraded recently with my IFPA rewards.
Ah, got it. So as a recent JP premium buyer, were you a little upset? Like if you would have known the 30th edition was right around the corner, would you have gone for that or no?
Not at all.
No. Okay.
'Cause, I mean, cost-wise, it's
It's a little bit more
difference.
expensive than a premium, Joel. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've looked.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I do think I would guess Stern's going to do more of this, and I think somebody pointed out that Godzilla has an anniversary next year.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 40th anniversary, or not 40th. I think it's the 50th,
I don't know.
60th,
Why are you guys
70th.
telling me this now?
70th?
I could have sold my pin.
I think it's the 70th anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
I know right now it's the 60th for Avengers, but they didn't do anything for that. Yeah, it would. I know that there's a huge anniversary coming up for Godzilla next year. And that would not shock me at all if you kind of
Huge
just follow
Mothra backlash.
what's going on. That just seems like a foregone
Yeah.
conclusion, right? If you're going to do it for Elvira and Jurassic Park, why not do it for one of your biggest selling games, if not your biggest selling game of all time?
So, what about this question? What if Stern is done with vaults, so we no longer have vaults, but from here on out, every version, if Stern remakes a game, instead of it just being a vault where they remade what's already available, they do some sort of limited edition.
Cash grab. No, just
But
kidding.
it's, I mean, like, what if that? So, what's a game that has like, I don't know, like Ghostbusters? Let's say they do a Ghostbuster vault instead of just making the pros or the premiums, same art, same everything. They pay Zombie Eddie to do a new art package, new powder coat, sell it for an LE price. They make them limited. Boom.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think-
well,
yeah.
why not? I mean,
Yeah.
anniversary packages, it's not like pinball is the only industry that does this. I think I even sent you guys the picture of the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary stuff that I saw in stores.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, people were calling us a cash grab and everything. And I just want to say, well, hell yes, it's a cash grab. They're a business. Why would you not do that? They need to make money. They need to pay
Yeah,
employees. They
please.
need to keep everything going.
Please stay
you know,
in business.
Yeah, exactly. Please make as much money as you want so you can keep producing pinball. By all means, do that. So, yeah, I think that it would be a very good strategy to focus on anniversaries like that of successful pins or themes that they've had in the past, as
Mhm.
opposed to just straight up vaulting. I mean, there's still a time and place for a vault, but yeah, if like next year, for example, it is the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. So there
That
you go.
seems- yeah,
maybe
that's-
75th. You just wait a few more years.
That seems obvious to me that they would do that. But I think if you do an anniversary or you do a new art package, a new limited edition, there were people that sold their JP LEs or sold their premiums they wanted to upgrade. They wanted this instead. And if you just do a vault, there's it's rare that people are like, I don't know, like I'm curious. I wasn't around when like Iron Man vaulted. Were there Iron Man owners that sold their game just to get the vault? Or
no, it was basically the same.
I
It's
didn't.
going to
Yeah.
be tough in the future because so many games are being produced nowadays
yeah.
that I think it's going to be tough just to outright vault things. I think the only time you're going to see a vault is if a game just had a very limited run to begin with. And that's why everybody's
WWE.
right. Well, that's why Stranger Things is
Yeah.
being rumored heavily for a vault because it did not have a big run. A lot of people forget that. I would venture to say that the premium is probably actually the most limited edition out there
Yeah.
right
What's
now.
next?
So,
Season 5? Have a season 5.
Well, so we'll roll with Stranger Things. Let's say there's rumors, right, that there's a big opening in November. So people are like, this would be the opportunity for Stern to do a vault. Stranger Things, there's obviously demand for that. There's a new season coming out. Do they do the vault? Do they just make a bunch of premiums? Or do they have a whole new art package and they do another, and they call it a limited edition, and I don't know what maybe they can do an anniversary or they just call it the season 5 limited edition. I don't know, but does it make sense for Stern to pretty it up more so that they can charge a lot more money, or do they just make the same game, the premium, and they charge current premium prices? It seems to me the they're going to make more money if they do a limited type edition game. But does that piss the preview? I don't know. Travis is stroking a beard. I don't know what stroking a beard is. It's,
I can't grow a beard, so
I
no,
know,
Joel.
that's what
Please tell me what's stroking a beard.
Yeah.
I have to know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to comment on this particular subject. So I would think if they would come out with Stranger Things and have a brand new art package,
Yeah.
I think that would help it a lot. I think if you add in the UV kit with it, that would help out a lot. I think those two things would be pretty cool. In terms of a full-on art package, obviously because of the way that the playfield was with the UV kit, I'm not even sure if that could even be done anyways. I don't know what the logistics are with that. But I don't know. If they did Stranger Things, I wish that they would just come out with the other seasons as opposed to doing a vault.
Well,
That's what I would like to see personally. But
I would.
Oh, you mean like an actual new game?
yeah, why not? I mean, we've talked about that before. The one thing I've never understood is why Pinball has shied away from doing sequels or doing huge themes in segments. Just like we talked about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Stranger Things. They did the first 2 seasons. Well, there's been 2 other seasons to come out, and the show is bigger more than ever now. It's breaking records all the time. Why would you not just go ahead and say, okay, let's push forward with that? I would think Netflix would rather have a pin made entirely of the whole entire show.
Just go to the 4th movie. I mean,
yeah, it just seems.
else.
I mean, even Ghostbusters. Why not come out with another Ghostbusters based off the new movie? Just lean into IPs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of Mandalorian. That pin I think has only the first season in it, and there's been 2 or 3 more, but it has 1 and 2.
Got 2 seasons,
but it doesn't have all of it. That's what I'm saying. It's there was a whole season that came out after the game came out. They're not going to make another
and that's
Mando.
always going to happen. But
I see. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I know the way that they coded Stranger Things with the whole left side of the playfield being season 1 and the whole right side of the playfield being season 2. I mean, they really leaned into season 1, season 2. They've hurt themselves on. There's really no easy way to add more to the game.
No, and I think as it is, if Stranger Things comes out as a vault, I don't think it's going to do great. I think it'll do decent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. I don't think all of a sudden it's just going to set the world on fire or anything. I just don't think it will. I know I have a Stranger Things up for sale right now, and I think I'm going to end up having to price a Pro right at $8,000 with the UV kit and with the topper.
Yeah.
On it as well. So, I mean, yeah, these pins were going for pretty good value before. I think if you come out with the Pro version, I don't think it's going to do great. I think you have to come out with the premium.
Yeah,
I move units.
I completely agree. I don't think Stern should make the Pro at all. I mean, I agree. I don't see the demand there. It's the premium that people want, or some sort of vaulted LE or something. I don't know. Travis is gone, and I don't know. I do think. I mean, maybe that's another question. Before we get to Venom, we're just going to keep pushing that back. Is there? You said this. If Stranger Things came out right now, wouldn't light the world on fire? Is there a pinball machine that could come out right now that would light the world on fire? Is the
Mario.
market in a spot where there is a pinball machine that would sell out immediately?
3 of them. Mario, Into the Spider-Verse, South Park.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, I think.
Well, yeah. That goes without saying.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. 4 of them.
4 of them. So it's really, everything you said is just theme. It's just theme. It doesn't matter who's making it. I mean, I know Elwyn is rumored. You're already seeing.
Sweet baby Jesus. Sorry. My wife, she just came back from book club. She's obviously been
she heard
into
Elwyn's
the wine. She just came into the studio.
Yeah.
I'm recording.
Just hand her the headset.
Hell no.
Just hand her the headset. We can talk to her for 5 minutes. It'll be great.
She just came right in, just walking in as if I'm just here, just sitting here, just staring at a camera for no reason. She's about to start talking and everything. Okay, sorry, Joel.
That's
I got
just
distracted.
normal life. No, I was, hi, Monica. You can say, yeah. what was I saying? I was saying
Harry Potter.
No, Keith Elwin. So it's like, obviously you're in, you don't care what the next game is from Keith Elwin. A Keith Elwin game is bigger than the theme in your world. But that's you as a pinball buyer, as a pinball player. Everything you just said was themes. Those are the four themes I
trust that he will put out a game that's going to be enjoyable. That's what I can trust. I can trust the rules are going to be something that's enjoyable. I can trust the shots are going to be fun.
The efficiency percentage is high with that one.
Bingo.
So that's good. I mean, that's a good solid trust factor. But I think it seems like Elwin has that ability, but everybody else or every other pin, the only way it's going to sell out day one, sight unseen at this point in this market is if it's a killer theme. That's your thought.
In the market today, yeah, it'll have to be a theme. The market today, yes. I think Foo Fighters was the last gasp of everybody that would rush out and get something. I think obviously what Jack put out was unique, and I think that there is a lot more people that want up-to-date themes when it comes to the quote-unquote dad rock, and we had talked about that plenty of time before. I think that that's severely underrated by a lot of people. They don't realize how popular some of that is, but at the same time, I think that if Stern or anybody else leans into music themes that are a little bit more mainstream of today, I think it would do well. If you do a hip hop pin, I think it would do fairly well. I think if you do a Taylor Swift pin, it would do well. Stuff like that. I think that if you get away from doing the stuff from the 70s and all that, yeah, I think those themes would do well today. But it's a different market too, currently right now. So just because you come out with what should be a Dynamite theme doesn't necessarily mean that it will sell out. I think in the past, a lot of people were okay with doing pre-orders, getting on lists, so on and so forth. But now, I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of pullback from that. And I think that's due to a lot of variables, a lot of factors, whether it's pricing, whether it's allocation, whether it's just there's so many different options out there, or whether just the general cost of living has gone up for everybody, that people are just making better decisions, I guess, so to say, or just different decisions in terms of what they're paying for in their daily lives. So, I mean, it's just hard to say, but I think that there's only a handful of themes, and the themes that we went through today, those 4 themes, those are the only ones that I would truly be confident in, that if I knew that those were the ones coming out, that it would do gangbusters.
Sure. And I get it. I mean, Harry Potter is one of them, obviously. And then we've talked about video game themes, whether it's Mario or maybe even a Zelda or Pokemon. Like those are the types of things that I agree could sell out super fast. I also feel there are some vaults. You know, if they did a Lord of the Rings vault or a Tron vault, I do think those could sell out super fast. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Lord of the Rings would be
I think Tron does. I don't think Lord of the Rings does. I think Tron does really well.
I was going to say the opposite.
I just don't think Lord of the Rings quite has it anymore the way it is. Now that they came out with that show that was on Amazon that just got slammed.
Ring of Fire?
To death, yeah.
Ring of Power. Ring of Fire.
We don't even know the name, yeah.
Ring of Power.
I just think something like Tron, you could just do a lot more with that nowadays, just in terms of the music, the light show.
Oh, what if they did Tron vaulted with expression lighting?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what I was getting to. There's a little bit more uniqueness that you could get to with that.
All right. Well, yep.
Good night,
I put
everybody.
off Venom long. Yeah, I put off Venom, put off Venom long enough. So we're gonna talk about it this way. We're gonna talk about we're gonna start with Tom and Tom's experience on Venom, because he's actually has the least amount of play compared to the two of us. So I'm curious.
It's
Tom,
like Ray Charles playing it, man.
Tom, you were the first. You were the first of us actually to play it, because up at District 82, Trent with Tilt Amusements had brought one just to let you guys play around on, and you actually moved your streaming rig over it and streamed. I remember watching you play like one ball, and you did a lot in that one ball. I mean,
that was a premium, right?
I had no idea what I was doing.
So tell us about that, Tom. I mean, your initial impressions, you step up to the game. You obviously you're saying you had no idea what you're doing.
No idea what I was doing.
But how did it feel? You
You
know,
still put up over a billion, though, right?
It shot great, but the shots are like really wide open for the most part.
Mhm.
Like I didn't think there was a tough shot on the game,
yeah.
and that's one of my reasons why I'm not buying one. I don't know. I just first impressions was it just shot a little too easy for me. But obviously that can change with game setups and things like that. And actually the tilt was really tight on that game too. But I think some of I don't understand the code at this point, so I'm going to go out to locations and play the crap out of it so I can get a feel for the game. And I don't know. I don't have a big opinion of it just because of my limited experience with the game.
What about fast locks? You were
I really don't care for them. I don't think they're like this great. I know we kind of talked about this before, but I don't think they're this like exciting feature of the game.
Okay.
I think the captive ball, like hitting the, what is it? The Carnage. Yeah, I said it. I had to think for a second.
Do you like that tone, Tom, that you get, when either of us asks a question that Travis feels is so
He's got to finish it.
He's got he's got that tone, Carnage, it just
well, and
I'm just making sure. I'm on Tom's side here. I'm with him.
Yeah.
Part of that is I just don't know the Venom lore that well, like Travis does.
Nah, I was just calling Travis a douche. That's all.
But what the hell were we talking about? No,
we were talking about Carnage. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I thought the Carnage mech was cool. But and the doppelganger was okay, but I mean that to me that was the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think it was that big of part of the game. Now, obviously there's a ton of code into the game, but I was literally just shooting, oh, this shot's purple, I'm going to shoot this, and this shot's blue, and this shot's yellow, so I'm going to shoot that because it's lit.
Mm-hmm.
I had absolutely no direction on what I was doing. I was literally joling the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you had a great time.
And I did. I had fun.
Yeah. Well, good. No, I remember you played it. I remember we were messaging you on Facebook, and you're like, hey, how was it? And you're like, I had no idea. Like that was your thing. Like, no idea what I was doing. And what do you think of fast locks? It's just kind of it seemed like a very lukewarm.
Yeah, first impressions is lukewarm. Maybe if I play it 50 times, I'll be like, hey, this game's awesome. But just not there yet.
What you're saying, Travis? Is it milk toast? Is that you're saying?
Milk toast.
Milk toast.
Milk toast.
It sounds like Tom's going to give it a milk toast rating.
Milk toast is lukewarm, right? Like that's pretty bland. Is that what we're going for there? Yep. I still don't get it, but
you could just say lukewarm.
Just listen to the first 20 minutes of this episode. You'll get it.
That was. Oh man, a month of not recording wasn't long enough. That's what I'm feeling right about now. No, apparently people miss this. It's crazy. I don't know. Do you want to talk, Travis? I'll let you go.
I love
right?
talking.
Because
what do you want me to talk about, Joel?
I'll bring it up. You, Travis, you have a pro in your house, right? You've been
no,
it wasn't in your house. I think you said your kids
it's at work.
Oh.
Yeah, it's at my work at the studio.
Got it. Okay. So you've actually done a bunch of filming on it. You've really dove into the game. You've asked me a ton of questions, which I think is hilarious. I think it's really funny that the way that you had to learn how to play the game was by watching my stream, which was a joy. I could tell you.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
You got paid to do it.
My God.
Paid by the company you work for to watch me stream and explain to you how to play a game. Tell us more.
You want me to tell you more about that experience?
Tell
Or
us
you want-
more.
Tell
Tell
you
us how
about the
great it
experience
Was it
of the
like
game.
was it like the Water Boy?
No,
Like
I think
Oh my gosh, Tom! It had crossed my mind that even during work hours, maybe I need to break out the bottle of Jack just to get through it and just say, "Okay, here's what's going on."
your message group to us and
What
Loser
were
Kid was
the
like,
exciting
hell
parts?
has frozen over because I am being paid to watch Joel play.
It was funny because I had all this content that I needed to make and I wanted to make, but I hadn't got to play it yet. So I wanted to know what I was going to get myself into,
Mhm.
right? And so I first went to go watch Tom play. And then I kept in mind that Tom had said that he really didn't know what he's doing. And
Mhm.
so, of course, when I watched him, I was like, okay, yeah, that checks out. But even though he's still getting through the game, I was like, well, I need to find something out there to where it's kind of showing me what to do. And then I realized I was like, wait, you did a stream with Dwight. I was like,
Mhm.
surely that'll make sense.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, it's,
You came
get
to
past,
a Venom expert,
yeah,
to see
yeah, why not?
high level pinball play.
Well, you get past watching all the posts get hit. Yeah, you can definitely.
Those don't score points. I don't get
No,
it.
they
Why the
don't.
posts don't score points yet? I don't understand. But yeah, you turned to my stream and you learned everything. Everything you need to know.
Oh yeah,
You're welcome.
Totally full on expert after that for sure.
We had a guy comment on our stream. He said, I had to turn it off after 15 minutes.
Why?
Please, flipping out, get better players to show off your game. That was a comment that was on the YouTube video.
I have
Oh,
a
no.
streaming rig right
Yeah,
here.
so,
If you're
Yeah.
a distributor,
yeah.
My heart, Joel. My
You
heart.
don't-
So I had
want
this.
me.
I had Venom, and a huge shout out to Dwight Sullivan, the lead coder, the lead design, not designer, but the lead software lead on the game. He's watched a lot of the streams and whatnot, and he had reached out to me, and he's like, whenever you stream this, I'd love to be on it. And I asked him, well, do you want to be on audio? And he's like, sure, let's do it. And he was awesome. He was awesome to have, awesome to answer questions, and he was incredibly informative on how to play the game. I would say that is one thing that is tough. Once you understand the basic structure of the game, the lights actually tell you what to do pretty well. But
Right.
until
Well-
you wrap your head around that, it's really hard to understand what you're doing.
Yeah, and we can break that down actually very easily. So I'll say this. I'll back up a little bit here. Playing it, I think the game itself, it's fun for what it is. The rules are what they are. I don't know if I'm on board yet with not having any traditional modes, so to speak. You still have your boss battles
Travis,
once you get to a certain level.
if I say, Travis, you're fun for what you are, is that a
Mhm.
compliment?
Joel, I've taken that compliment for nearly 20 years of marriage. So, it is what it is.
Okay, so if the game's fun for what it is, we'll just roll with that. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, so what I'm wrapping my mind around is that, like Tom said, all right, I'll just come out and say it, that to me, in my opinion, this game is probably the easiest playing game that I can remember Stern coming out with.
well, yeah,
By far.
Joel's done pretty
Yeah, even
well.
Joel scored 1 billion on it, I believe, right, Joel?
I've scored 1 billion, and I've
Yeah.
beaten
So-
Knull.
But I will put the caveat with that most likely that has to be by design because of the XP system, wanting people to get through the game. So that's what I'm saying. It's fun for what it is. I went into it knowing that. So for me, what I found to be the most fun part of the game is the speed runs. I think the idea of figuring out how to beat a game as fast as possible and try to figure out the shortest path, try to figure out what's going to give you the XP exploits or the fastest XP possible or the most efficient XP. To me, I enjoy that aspect of it more than anything. So I think because of that, I can kind of look past the lack of modes early on
Mhm.
as opposed to just the boss battles. But yeah, I think like you were mentioning, Joel, if you can wrap your mind around the combos and everything, then you're good to go. I will say my 2 sons who are 12 and 13, they played it and they loved the game to death. The idea of an XP system, they
Yeah.
are thrilled with it. My 13-year-old, he wants to play this game all the time. He's been asking me to take him up to work to go play Venom. He's even asked for a Venom to come at the house. And I've had to tell him like, whoa, we have Jurassic Park, we have Godzilla, we have Walking Dead. I need you to calm down right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's wanting a Venom. So
But how much XP is in those 3 games? 0 is the answer. Yeah. Venom has the XP. Yeah.
So, I think the game is fun when you look at it from that perspective. But I think you can find fun in nearly any pinball machine there is. So, but if you are playing Venom and you're trying to figure out what's going on, the easiest way to play it is you just simply follow the colors. It's all you do.
So
if you see yellow, you hit yellow.
What
As soon
if
as
you're
you do that,
colorblind?
what if you're color? So
then you're screwed. You're screwed. You need to go play foosball or something because you're not going to survive Venom. You just hit everything.
I want to just to clarify the color thing is when you look at your grid, when you pick a host, there's going to be a vertical column that you are selecting, and in that vertical column there are 3 lights: a yellow, a white, and a blue, and you have to light those
Yellow, light blue,
in that order. Okay, yellow, blue, white. So that's your column, and so for you to battle your first guy, you have to do those 3 lights. And those 3 lights, the way you do those, Dwight calls them mini modes, but the reality is it's a combo shot. It's just a 2-shot combo, and he calls them mini modes. So like if you want to light yellow, you look at the playfield, there will be a light that is solid yellow. You hit that. As soon as you hit that, now there will be another light somewhere else that is a flashing yellow shot. You have to then hit the flashing yellow shot. If you do that, solid yellow, then flashing yellow, boom, you lit your light. And you have to do the same thing. Solid blue, flashing blue, solid white, flashing white. You do those, you light your 3 lights. Now you've completed that column.
Do you have to do that in order?
No, you can do that in any order. And that's the thing. When it's flashing, if it's a flashing light, it's a timed light. It will time out eventually, and then you just hit the solid one again to relight it. But once you do that ladder, as long as you're at 10 XP or higher, 10 levels or higher, then you can battle that character.
And that's what I was going to say too. Yeah. It's funny because it points us out on the LCD, and it doesn't say this in the rules PDF because it firmly establishes it wants you to know that these are mini modes. But yet it'll say, I think it says the minor boss's name and then combo on the LCD. So it might say Riot combo or Agony combo or Age combo, something like that. So if you can look at the grid and you don't think of it as just those 3 lights, you think of it as 4 lights because you're going to qualify that minor boss. And that's what we went back and forth on, Joel, because I couldn't get that across my mind for the longest time because I'm like, well, I got to get to level 10. How, what's going to happen here? It says it's qualified, but yet I can't fight him yet. So basically you hit the 3 combos, you have that minor boss qualified until level 10. So it's almost just like you get them loaded up. And then if you get to level 10 and you're still that character that you are for that grid. So for instance, the very first line is Eddie. Next one's Flash. The third one's Gwen. The fourth one's Peter. So whichever character you are, then you're going to qualify that minor boss's combos.
That path, essentially.
Right. And that makes up the mini mode.
So what's interesting though is, and I remember asking Dwight this, it's like theoretically you could complete that path, those 3 mini modes in 6 shots. Like you hit the solid, you hit the blinky, you do that for 3 colors.
Even faster because you can do a super skill shot and spot a mini mode.
Yep. There is a skill shot. So when you go to plunge the ball, the right flipper is going to select your host. The left flipper is going to select your skill shot. One of them it's a hurry up to hit a shot and it'll spot you in mini mode. But each host has different perks. So if you want to get into multi-ball quick, you pick Eddie because 2 locks are lit automatically. But then every character has perks. We don't have to go through them all. It says it on the LCD. But what happens if you plunge the ball, you're at level 1, you hit your 6 shots just magically, boom, 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 boom. You've completed your path. You may be at that point level 2 XP. Well, you're stuck. You can't battle the guy because you're not at 10. So what do? On the left ramp, the change host button is there. You can hit that, and then it'll allow you to select a different character. So you can start the path for your next character. And if you end up doing the 2 paths next to each other, then that's how you get all 4 corners of a square, and that's how you get certain perks that are right there in the middle of the grid. There are 6 available perks. So there's some planning there on basically building up your character, building up your perks. And you have to just do that. You have to focus on mini modes until you get to level 10. How else can you increase your levels? Multi-ball. So you have Mayhem multi-ball, and then you have Carnage multi-ball. Carnage, you just hit the Carnage target a whole bunch. Once you do that, once you push them all the way back, then you hit the center ramp. Otherwise, Mayhem multi-ball deals with those locks. And there's multiple ways to lock the ball. and those are in the fast locks. Multi-ball is going to start automatically when you lock 2 balls. You have to hold the center button to hold your multi-ball, and you can let that build all the way up to a 6-ball multi-ball. But I remember asking that to Dwight. I'm like, well, once I complete my path, if I'm not at level 10, what do I do? And he's like, you just have to keep gaining experience. So keep playing the game, keep trying to complete your paths, your mini modes, or play multi-ball, and you'll work your way up with experience up to level 10. And as soon as you do that, then as long as you're in a character with a completed path, you can battle the first guy. And once you battle the first guy, let's say you get through it, well, what's the next step? You have to battle Grendel, but to get to Grendel, you have to be level 20. So it's a lot more just playing the game to build your levels up. And that's something that it's very interesting to me, because this is the first game where multi-ball to me has always been a crutch that I can bring into a mode where it's like, I want to beat, Godzilla. I want to beat whatever, not Rodan, you don't fight him. I want to beat Titanosaurus. Well, if I'm going to, before I play him, let me go ahead and start him and then start a multi-ball. And now I have a multi-ball in this mode. You don't have that in Venom. Like the mini modes, the battles, they're separate from multi-ball. So multi-ball, why are you shaking your head? You
Do
can't
you not remember what's on the fast locks?
Okay. Yes. So there's another
It's
thing
actually,
there.
you have a complete crutch because you can play your multi-ball.
So
And
this
every
is
time you get a jackpot,
yeah.
you beat one of the minor bosses.
Yeah. This isn't.
Because it
I don't
wants
love
you
it.
to.
I don't love that, because this is another thing. The fast locks themselves, there are 3 perks, and so the first 2 perks are the first 2 villains or the first 2 minor bosses. So you can get into your 2-ball multi-ball, and if you hit every shot on the playfield and then hit a jackpot, it gives you you automatically beat that first. So it's like you just skipped a whole mode.
Now,
or
what's
whole
tough
battle.
about it, though, it's not worth very much early on. I've seen the scores are kind of a little bit all over the place, but I've seen some pretty massive scores. If somehow you can hold off on fighting some of the guys later on, it could be worth 300, 400 million as opposed to getting 10 million for finishing them. But it just depends how you want to approach the game too.
So if the idea is with a speed run, this is Travis wanting to get all the way to Knull as quickly as possible, where there's going to be I'm assuming there's a point or a lull. So you can quickly complete your mini modes, your path. You can do that in just a few shots, especially if you spot one. And then you're saying you get into multi-ball, and if you do play multi-ball right, you can beat a minor villain in multi-ball.
Yeah, you'll be close to level 20 when you come out of
that multi-ball. If you have a really good one. Okay.
Yeah.
But then you beat Grendel, so Grendel's at level 20. But when you're done with Grendel, typically what level are you at?
I've been as low as 23 when I started. So I think I was probably mid 20s at that point, 26, maybe 27.
You're at 26, but you can't do anything until you get to 30 to fight Knull, and gaining levels at that higher takes time. So what do you do at that point?
Just another multi-ball. More
locks.
More combos. Yep. Combos, locks, multi-ball, grind it out. And then you just keep
boom,
going.
you're in Knull. Tom is holding his hand
Tom?
out. Tom has something to say.
Hi,
Tom
everybody.
Graf,
I'm
let's
Tom.
go.
How do you light your locks?
Combos.
You complete mini
Just
modes.
hitting combos.
Yep. So what happens for your very first one, right? So some of the characters too, besides just Eddie, you have one lock lit. I think the only one where you don't have any locks lit is Flash. I think that's the only one. So Gwen and Peter have one lock and Eddie has 2. But the way it works is typically your very first lock, you need 1 combo. Second lock, you need 2 combos. Third lock on, you need at least 3 combos.
Okay.
Now, just there, this is the confusing part. Is we are saying combos because they are. It is a 2-ball combo. But
It says it on the LCD screen. It says agony combo or.
But that's what's tough is there's a whole nother combo thing. There are lights.
The signature combos.
There are lights on the playfield that are webs, and they say combo. And it's something totally different than the mini modes that we're discussing.
Right.
So you can continually light your locks as long as you're hitting combos.
Yes. They'll stack.
Well, yes and no. You have to get past a minor boss first. You can only play Mayhem once.
Okay.
Before that. Otherwise, you could just keep spamming it over and over again.
And what about Carnage, though?
Carnage is... So that's a tough one. I've played... I think maybe 1 or 2 Carnages per game. So I think you got to loop all the way back around to it. I don't know. What I do know
Bloodbath is like the second level of Carnage, right?
Well, it goes Carnage, or it goes Multi-Ball, Carnage, Hurry Up, and then Bloodlust.
Bloodlust, got it.
Right now, they have to fix Bloodlust because there's a known exploit with that you can just get billions off of just by doing center ramp basically nearly the whole time. So
yeah, I found that it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. And then, well, the tough part is right now, and I know that there's going to have to be some score balancing, that the Carnage Multi-Ball is just the value of it compared to Mayhem. It's just way, way unbalanced. So if you want to absolutely destroy the game right now, just make sure you have Peter as your character. And whenever you start stacking everything up, and you will be just shocked by the amount of points. I've played.
Why Peter, though? What's
because
his perk?
Peter makes that's fucking Spider-Man, bitch.
Because Peter makes basically Carnage is easier to start. I think it only takes 3 hits to the captive ball in order to light it on the center ramp, and then the Carnage points in Multi-Ball are worth a whole lot more. So I've done some stacks to where I have 1.2 to 1.4 billion out of Carnage and less than 150 million in Mayhem, and they're stacked together.
You can play both at the same time, and that's that. To me, it's just, I'm just saying this game. I have looked at this game totally different than any other pinball machine I've ever played. Like, I just look at it as
You've
a journey.
Actually looked at the rules.
Yes, I've learned the rules, but I'm all about that in game. Like, the reason I want to beat Knull because I want to unlock another character, and I want to have another character to play and have fun with. And it's just totally different. This is a game. I will be honest. I've played this game more in the week that I've had it than any other game that Zach's let me borrow. Like, every other game that he's let me borrow, I'll play it 1 or 2 nights before I stream, just because I don't want to look totally dumb. I want to try to find the shots, but then I kind of want to discover the game though on stream, and it's almost like I don't want to get bored of the game, or I don't want to do too much with the game off stream. Like, I play a lot of, typically I don't play a ton, but this game, because I know every game I play on it when I'm logged in with Insider Connected, I'm just improving my character. I'm just benefiting what I'm doing. So even I streamed it last night. It was Wednesday, but I played it Tuesday night for a little while just because I wanted to build up my character before I started to stream. And so for me, all I'm caring about is building my character. And what's odd is the multi-ball, like, all I'm trying to do is complete my mini modes. All I'm trying to do is get to my battles. Like, multi-ball feels almost like a distraction for me because I don't care about the points. It's just like, I'm in multi-ball. So I just don't, it's not, I know, Tom, I know it's a crazy thing.
What are you using your multi-ball for?
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not using it really at all. And I understand you're saying you can use the Mayhem multi-ball to give you the battles. But I don't want it. Like, I actually...
You can do more than that with it, though.
Okay. The Mayhem multi-ball...
What else can you use it for?
It can give you 4 battles. It can give you a playfield multiplier, and it gives you XP.
And what else?
2 times XP, 1 times playfield, 4 battles. What do you want?
You can do the doppelganger infected.
Well, but those don't, like, I don't need to do doppelganger to battle Knull. Like, that's
yeah,
what
you do. It gives you XP.
He gives you XP.
To build up XP. Everything in the game builds up XP.
But what builds up XP? It's either doing all those very specific things in the game to build it up quickly, like you're trying to do a speed run, or just keep playing the game. Just keep
that's what I'm saying.
Game.
That's why you use your multi-ball. Here, I'll tell you exactly what to do with multi-ball. Okay? Exactly what to do. You're going to thank me for this because you're going to go play the game.
Flippers.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, some great philosopher told us that before, that strategy.
That's the technique. But that's how you get that GC.
So legitimately,
I can't listen to you when your camera's out.
Well, this will make sense. Okay,
I don't know who you're.
I'm your conscience right now. Here we go, Joel.
I'm your conscience. I need to take a medication.
All right. So if you look at the playfield, this will make total sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you do this while you're in multi-ball, especially if you're in Mayhem. If you look at the captive ball, what is there at the captive ball?
Carnage.
Right. There's also an infected.
Yes.
So you hit that twice, you'll get infected.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the scoop. There's 2 targets there. What are those targets for?
Infected.
Infected. So what you can do, if you just go hog wild and just spam that the whole entire time, you're going to build up your infected. You're going to get the doppelganger quickly. You're going to get the rampage pretty quick. And that's going to give you loads of XP. You're going to build up a lot. And then every single time you miss those 2 targets, you hit the scoop. What's it doing? It's coming back on the fast lock.
Yep.
It's going through an end lane. So you're going to light your mysteries a lot quicker. You're going to get all the above for more XP for everything. So there's just certain tactics that you can do even while in multi-ball that may not be just getting a jackpot. Because I think even the jackpots give you 40 XP or somewhere right around there. So yeah, it's a bit of a grind. But
that's what's interesting is I understand we played pinball in a very different way, but the way you're looking at this game, you look at it from points, but you're also, because you're looking at the speed run, you are, how do I quickly and efficiently get my character leveled up as fast as possible?
I mean, I'll be completely honest. I have shut my brain off completely from the points because there's so many obvious unbalanced things right now. It's almost that they're going to be balanced. So things are going to change. So there's no sense in, like, even when I told you guys about Carnage compared to Mayhem, that's going to be balanced because it has to. There's just no way it can't. So if you're looking at this, like, to me, if you want to truly enjoy the game for what it is right now today, look at it from the XP standpoint and figure out how can I get through my levels, figure out how can I get to the next boss. So for me, that's where I'm finding the enjoyment out of the game, because I don't want to sit there and just do the Grendel exploit the whole time and feel awesome because I got 50 billion on it. I mean, it's fun the first time, but then, you don't want to do that continuously. So a lot of these things will get patched up anyways. But yeah, I think it's great to look at it from the standpoint that you want to get to Knull eventually. So you're going to do the things properly to get the Knull and to be leveled up high enough. And so that's why, if you're looking at it from that perspective, there's just certain tactics you can do while you have a ball save on that is a little bit different than other games, that doesn't involve just spamming jackpots the whole entire time. Because you do need to defeat a doppelganger, because what happens when you do Carnage and Mayhem and a doppelganger, you Toxin team up, which can be worth pretty good XP as well.
But that's how do you do the team ups?
The team ups, the perks, or the team up that's a particular
the
mode.
Sleeper and the Miles and the
so
hybrid.
Sleeper you can get if you select Flash from the beginning, or you can qualify them through Infected.
Okay.
And then Miles you get if you pick Peter,
or 4-way combo.
And then what is it? Hybrid.
Hybrid, you have to beat all minor bosses.
Yeah, and he's the most powerful thing in the game because
insanely powerful.
Yeah, you hit the button. It spots every shot on the playfield and instantly turns on a 7 times playfield multiplier.
Which one was that?
Hybrid.
Okay.
Yeah, but to get him, you either get him from mystery, which is crazy. I got him as a mystery award, and Dwight was like, "Whoa, you got the? I haven't seen that." I was like, "You coded it, And he's like, "Yeah, but it's just that is extremely rare to get
a god roll
through mystery kind of thing," and it's super powerful. I mean, it's a 7 times playfield multiplier at your button. You just hit it whenever you want. And it spots every shot. But what I think's crazy is hearing the way that you are looking at this game as, I just want to beat it faster. Like, beating it is not the goal. It is just you want to beat it faster than you did before. To me, this game, when it showed up on my doorstep, was like, okay, I am confident I am going to beat this game. I don't have that confidence with any other pinball machine that's dropped off of my doorstep.
Rush.
I knew Cactus Canyon just because you guys and heckling and everybody saying the game's too easy. I was like, okay, this is a game that I better beat, or I just suck. And then same thing with Toy Story. It's like that was just that understanding of like, I better beat this game because people are saying it's too easy. It's too easy not to beat the game. And just to clarify, I beat the game because I beat 50% of it. Okay, we're just gonna clear the air on that. So this game, though, I was like, Venom, this is clearly a game that if I put in the time, it should get me to a point where I can beat this game. Even if I have to build up to 99 level, yes, I'm going to beat this game. So I was expecting a grind. I was expecting it to be something that I would slowly chip away at. And I will tell you, honestly, I've beat the game twice, and I've owned it a week. And both times, because of the speed run aspect of it, the first time I beat it, I was at level 45. And my speed run time was like an hour and 15 minutes of playtime. And then last night when I beat it on stream, I think I was level like 41. And my playtime counter was like an hour and 2 minutes of playtime. So it's not it's really not that much of a grind. And that's surprising to me. I was expecting it to be more. And one of the things that was said, I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but in my mind, it's part of those like, okay, over the next month, I know I'm going to beat it again. That means I'm going to unlock my third character. And then I'm already looking at achievements. There are certain achievements of like beat Knull with Hulk. So clearly you have to unlock him, but then I have to beat him again as Hulk. So there's 7 achievements that are beating Knull with all 7 characters. So it's like, well, clearly I'm going to beat it 7 times. But these are all things like my next goal is just going to be start chipping away at achievements. And that it's just a weird thing to feel like there's a chance that this is a game that I actually might complete or feel like I've actually done everything. And it's because of the XP system and the fact that it holds my skill or it holds my value. If I don't know if that wasn't there, do I think I could just start at level 1 and beat Knull in a normal 3-ball game with extra balls? I don't necessarily think I could. It would be a challenge. It would be a big challenge for me to do that. Tom, what's up?
So, Travis, what's your speed run?
My fastest one so far is 23 minutes, I think.
Joel, you got some work to do.
We just round up to an hour and we're basically the same time. So it's, but I see that, but I know Travis and our skill levels are drastically
Right,
different.
of course.
But I think that's cool that the code allows something that keeps him excited and me excited with very different play styles.
Sure.
I just wish that, and we kind of talked about this last podcast, that the...
He was talking.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. I don't want to be the guy that cut him off.
No, I was just curious. Travis, have you finished Knull in like one game?
I finished Knull 2.5 times in one game.
Okay. That's
because when you beat him, the game's not over. It starts you back at
no, I understand that.
Right. Yep. No, I played it with a burner profile, and I got through it 2.5 times. I got all the way back to Grendel a third time.
Is that Monica's profile? Just play for
no, she won't let me play on hers. But
so no, then you unlock these characters like Wolverine and Hulk and stuff by beating Knull?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And there's the thing with Knull, there's a very specific pattern you can follow to beat him. But I don't want to reveal that on the podcast. I'd rather people just play it on their own.
I have a launch party probably next week, so just you can tell me.
I will tell you off podcast.
Yeah, just watch my stream. I mean, I beat it. I don't know if I followed Travis's dumb pattern, but I beat it.
So here's the thing about Venom, and you guys know we talk about pinball a lot off the podcast as well. So you guys know how my mind works. I like to look for sequences and patterns because if I'm going to catch the ball, I want to stay in a flow. I want to know where to go. Venom very much follows sequences down to a T. And that goes for whether you're doing your mini modes, whether you're doing your signature combos, whether you're doing host hurry up. There's a lot of things that you can keep doing. And that's the thing, the combos for each character, they stay the same. So if you hit, say, for instance, just anybody, it's left ramp, right? And then you hit right orbit. Well, that shot's going to be lit again at the left ramp, that same color. Mm-hmm. It's not going to shift to another shot. So it's very predictable in that way. And if you find a combo that you're really comfortable with, you could just spam it over and over and over again to get your logs.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you said at the beginning. I feel like this is the easiest game Stern's made in a long time. And sure, there's speed. And if you miss, that ball's coming back at you quick. But the fast locks, it reminds me of when you guys were talking about Johannes and having magnets on the flippers, because it doesn't matter how he shoots, he can get the ball under control immediately. And when you look at Venom, because of the fast locks, there are so many shots on the playfield that end up putting the ball in the fast lock that you actually get a very consistent feed out of those fast locks. And the flippers, instead of them being drooped like on Deadpool or drooped like they were on Godzilla, they're actually up more. So it's a lot easier to trap up on the ball. So I, as a very uncontrolled player, feel a lot more in control on this game than any other game that I've had in a long time. So the fact that the shots are more open and the fact that the shots feel like you can get under control, like to me, it's, if you're cradled up on the left flipper, you can backhand that left ramp, which feeds your left flipper. Like in a very controlled manner because of the fast locks. Or same thing when you backhand the scoop with the right flipper. It's going to immediately feed you right back to your, and if you do it right, you can just immediately cradle up and do it again. And that feeling of control, apparently this is what you guys do all the time, but this is a new feeling for me. And it really is neat. Like, it's a cool
baby's first ball trap.
Yeah, pretty much like
baby's first cradle.
Yeah. And well, I enjoy it.
I think too, the thing with the Pro, and I don't know how the Premium plays. I haven't got to play one yet, but with the Pro, there's legitimately only one shot that you really have to be worried about. And that's if you're going on the left side of the horseshoe. That feed comes back around and it hits off the top part of the sling.
It's a little clunky.
And that's the only shot that's truly semi-dangerous in the game. Everything else, if you hit it, it's going to return back to a flipper.
Yep.
Every single time. And, you know, that's just how the game's made, which is perfectly fine. It's just be aware that if you're going to be playing it, if you can play under control, like any control player, they're going to carve this game up.
Mm-hmm.
And my fear is I don't know if this game will be in tournaments in the future outside the launch parties. And I don't know if it necessarily has to be. Not every single game needs to be this big time tournament game. I think it's perfectly fine to have a pinball machine just be a pinball machine, just be something that people are going to just enjoy playing.
Mm-hmm.
So my fear is that if people try to put this in tournaments, especially high level tournaments, well, what happens when you do droop the flippers or you put on a tight tilt, right? So
have you turned the fast locks off yet? That's a new setting you can turn them off entirely.
I mean, honestly, I feel like the fast locks make it easier to play.
That's what I'm saying. If you turn them off,
the flow just goes so much easier. It doesn't seem, I mean, like the first time you play it, you kind of have to get your timing down, but then when you get used to it,
yeah,
it's just the timing is easy to figure out. Just my fear is that if some tournament director out there bastardizes the game so bad that you're on level 5 after your first mayhem, then you got to basically just grind out to get to level 10. And those minor bosses, it's not easy to beat them at level 10, level 15. It's not at all. That's on default.
That's what I don't. That's my biggest argument right now is the fact that if you actually battle a minor boss by hitting, filling out your path and getting into the battle, you're level 10, and you actually are just playing the boss. Both of them have 2 phases, and what did I say wrong? Travis is typing. Hello? What are you typing? Y'all froze. No, we're not. Tom, you there, right?
I'm here.
Yeah, it's freaking Travis. This guy. This guy. Okay, while he's trying to figure out his life. What I was saying was if you actually go down the path and play the minor battle, like the battles are hard. There's a lot of shots that are needed, and there's 2 phases to it. Like it's a lot of shots to beat that minor villain or that minor battle if you actually play it. But if you go through the multi-ball, like he's saying, and you just happen to hit every shot on the playfield and hit one super jackpot, boom, you just beat it. I don't like that. I don't like that. It just seems like it's way easier. You can just avoid an entirely hard battle or an entirely hard mode by just hitting. What do you want, Travis? Travis, do you hear us yet? Are you there?
He said everybody froze on my screen.
I know, but now he's typing. Is he just being Travis? Like,
yes.
This is the problem, people. This is the problem with the listener. I don't know if he's just messing with us or if he's actually having a problem. But I don't know. I say we just keep going. I say we keep going, or do I try to pause it for him? What do you think, listeners? Write us at tripledrain@gmail.com. Should we just talk through technical difficulties?
Time to go to viewer questions.
Try to go. Well, we're missing Travis.
Oh, Travis. Yeah, Travis said he cannot hear us at all.
All right. I'm going to pause this. Sorry, listeners. Hopefully this is a seamless transition. We'll see how this goes. Okay. We're back. We're back. I don't know if Travis did anything wrong, but he was frozen and we kept talking. And so we're just, yep, we're here. We're here.
Sorry, I got a call from Loser Kid. I had to pick it up.
Jeez. All right. What we were talking about, this is seamless for all the listeners. What we were talking about is my current complaint with Venom is the battles. The battles are pretty hard, especially at lower levels. And you said that, like, you have to be at level 10 to do the first minor villain. And if you get into that battle, it's a 2-phase battle. And there's a lot of shots you have to hit. It's timed. So if you run out of time, you lose the battle and you got to do your mini modes again to get back into it. But it's a decent bit of work to actually get through that battle. You compare that, though, to Mayhem Multi-Ball. You lock a ball, you get in. All you have to do is hit seven shots and you hit a jackpot and boom, you're spotted the battle. And I don't like that. Like, I think it's a very, like, clearly the way to do it is to have a really good Mayhem Multi-Ball and you can skip all those battles. Or you really only have to do one battle to get past that increment, that level.
Well, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to get past that battle and then get on to Grendel. I mean, I've lost to the minor bosses at level 30.
I know,
it's
hard.
possible to do. So
that's, but what if instead, and I'm not, I mean, maybe I'll tell Dwight, but maybe instead of giving you the whole battle, it just like gives you a phase. Like it gives you the first phase of the battle because there are 2 phases. So it's like, don't give me the whole battle, but make it so that when I get into it, because you did well in the multi-ball, it just makes that battle easier, or it takes away a phase. You already start at phase 2. You know, sometimes I just think there's just a very big difference between getting a jackpot in a multi-ball versus actually having to focus in on that battle, hit the specific shots. Some of the battles, the shots are roaming. Some of the shots are moving back and forth. I mean, it's a very different thing that you have to do with one ball. That's very challenging versus a multi-ball where it's just hit every shot and then hit a jackpot.
Right. Well, I would say keep in mind too that most likely that rule is in there. Obviously, with the way that the fast locks are, if you look at the pictures with the minor bosses on them, it was meant for it to be this way.
Yeah.
From a very early stage. And I would say that they very much want you to get through the game, get to Grendel, get to Knull. Then on top of that, it makes it easier to get the hybrid too, to get to your 7X in order to defeat all 4 bosses. Because if you have to play all 4 bosses on their own, that's going to be awfully hard to beat all 4 bosses unless you're leveled up. You're not going to do it at a low level.
But if you look at Foo Fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if Foo Fighters, if you had a really good Overlord multi-ball, it just automatically spots you 3 cities? Like, I don't.
Right, but these aren't
like
modes,
that.
though. Keep that in mind. These are battles, Joel.
But the battles
Not
are the
modes.
closest things to the modes that you have in the game. And that to me is that's where I'm getting the most fun in the game. Is I enjoy the way it shoots. I enjoy the way it makes me feel because I actually feel like a pretty good player with the control that I have behind this. And I really do. The animations, the sound package is really good. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with the game. But where I'm enjoying, like, the moments, people ask that, where are the moments in the game? The moments are in the battles. The battles feel like a moment because it gets a little tense. It gets very serious. You got to focus. I mean, Grendel's a lot of fun. Knull is a lot of fun. Those are where that's where I'm having the most fun. And if you're telling me all of a sudden your multi-ball skips half of that, I don't want to skip it. That's where the fun's at.
Tom, I think what I'm hearing here is Joel saying to Dwight, I want you to code this differently. I want different rules. This isn't what I want,
That's
Dwight.
what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This game in
How many
multi-ball in this
bosses have you
game.
beat?
What do you mean?
Multi-ball. During Mayhem, how many
I've
bosses
gotten
have
through
you
2
beat?
before. 2.
So 50%.
But
See,
it's
I think that's fine.
yeah.
I think getting through 50% is fine. It's hard enough to get 3 of them because you got to go through all the jackpots 3 separate times and hit everything a lot.
Mhm.
But I think getting 50% of the way through is fine because then you're going to move on to another character anyways, right? And then you're going to decide whether or not you're going to fight what battle you want to fight at that point.
Okay. Yeah, it is such a unique experience. And I had a buddy of mine, shout out Sterling with Balls of Steel, not forgetting that again. He had reached out and he was curious, you've had Venom a little while now. What are your thoughts? And I truly, I think this is an incredible location pin. And the reason I say that is because of the XP system and the leveling up system. There's no reason why you wouldn't put a few games on the game every time you go to the bar. Like, you might as well. I mean, maybe for you guys, because Travis can beat Knull 2.5 times in one game. But for me, that it's going to take multiple games to get all the way up there. might as well. Like, I'm going to go ahead and play the game, 1 or 2 times. And even if all I do is walk away with 10 or 15 XP from that experience, like, that's fine. It'll start me off in a better position next time I hit start. And I really enjoy that. Like, that's pulling me back in, and I'm really enjoying unlocking characters because Hulk is a totally different experience. Wolverine, I was having a lot of fun with him last night because Wolverine, he's really hard to kill in the comics. So his perk is extra long ball save, like way longer ball save. And that's a lot of fun. Like, there are some really cool things that this unlocks, and I'm really drawn in to keep playing this game. And it's only 0.91. And I'm very curious to see what else they come out with because now this is a question for Travis. The end all be all wizard mode is what is it? It's the planet or the
Clintar
Clintar
multi-ball. I think that's how you
Clintar,
pronounce it.
yeah, Clintar multi-ball, which is kind of like Cowabunga on
Clintar.
Turtles. Like, there's 7 things you have to do, 7 or 8, and one of them is you have to beat Knull. So have you been anywhere close to that?
Yeah. So I don't know quite what's going on because I know for a fact I've done everything it's asked me to do on one of my profiles, but it's acting as if I don't have one of them completed. So I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if I just got to go back and do it again. I have no idea. But I know I'm on one of them. I'm only 1 away from finishing.
And that's something you can do in well, no, because the moment you do Knull, it wipes out all your other progress, like saved progress. So the game that you said you've beat Knull in 2.5 times in one game.
That was the one, yeah.
In a perfect world, you'd beat Knull in ball 1, and then you can spend balls 2 and 3 or your extra balls trying to pick away all the other crap to get to that multi-ball. But you better do it that game because as soon as you're wiped out, all your progression is wiped out after you do Knull.
I just know during that game, it did not let me.
Well, I doubt it's
him anymore.
in at
So
this
I don't
point.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened. I'd have to just try it without the glass.
Hmm.
Crap, are we frozen again?
No, it's just you.
Ooh, okay.
It's just you and your
All
camera.
right, we're good.
So I don't know. I mean, that's a weird thing about Venom. I just at the end of the day, I mean, it's 0.91 code. There's a lot more to flesh out. Dwight is incredibly good with the choreography or the way I've really enjoyed the light show. I really like the sound package, 4 different sound packages based on your character. I really like the options. Like, it's a joy to stream. It's a joy to stream because I can attack it so many different ways. I can pick different characters. Every time I hit start, I'm either starting with a new character or I'm building up my XP and I'm getting a little further. What do you want, Travis?
I just thought of something for a question for Tom because he's the only one that's played a premium out of us. Did you notice the shots changing at all? Did that affect the game for you? Like at all? Or was it just kind of something that you were just like, oh, okay. It's just another
not really.
feature.
See, I can't wait to play a premium because right now when you change hosts on a pro, all it's really changing are your perks and it's changing where the combos or the mini modes are. That's really all it's changing. But the idea that the play field is actually changing so that my shots will be more difficult or whatever. Like, I'm looking forward to that to try to strategize the best way to attack it. Because certain the way that the ball feeds is going to be totally different depending on what character. And I'm really looking forward to that. So for listeners that are in on an LE, if this is a theme you're looking forward to, I think it's going to be a ton of fun when you get your LE and how different the game's going to feel depending on your character. But this game feels totally different. I mean, we made a comment early on that Rick and Morty is it's its own thing. It's very unique. It's, accept it for what it is. That's kind of where I'm at with Venom. It is a very unique thing and I'm really enjoying it. But this whole XP system, I'm loving it, but it makes me wonder, okay, if Foo Fighters had XP, so every single time I hit start, it's like, well, I beat those 2 cities last time I played. So now I'm only 1 city away from DC or whatever. Or it's like, if every game had this type of this save state kind of progression thing, yeah, then you theoretically could see the end of every game. And is that necessarily something I want in pinball? Not necessarily, because I like the challenge of having to do it all in one go. But with that said, I am having a lot of fun with this, even though I've seen everything in the game at this point that's coded in it. But I'm looking forward to doing it again. So I don't know. I'm that's where I'm at. I'm enjoying it. Like this game is for watching the initial stream and the initial pictures. I thought the game looked kind of bare. I thought it would be kind of boring, the shot layout, but the actual shooting of it's a lot of fun, and it makes me feel like I'm a decent player. And I really enjoy the control aspect. But the code that Dwight's given in and the many different options that you can take and the ways to tackle it keeps pulling me back in. So I'm having a lot of fun. There you go. There's my super long-winded review.
You like
of the
Venom?
Game.
That's what you're trying to say.
I'm enjoying it. And my brother, that's one thing that I think is funny. My brother made the comment, he thinks it's better than Foo Fighters. Like my brother really is having fun on Venom. And what's funny is he's currently level like 18 or 19, and he still hasn't beaten a minor villain because the mini modes, the combos are challenging for him to get through that.
How many
path.
games have you guys played?
I mean,
so
we've
far?
streamed it twice, and every time we stream, it's 2 hours.
So, I mean, that kind of gives you an idea too. And I think a large part of it. So when we talk about beating Knull quickly and all this and that, I would tell the listeners to keep in mind that there's varying degrees of skill out there for pinball players, right? You have your just god tier, S tier players like Escher and Zoller
Travis.
and Z-Mac and Johannes. Yeah. Well, the thing is that if you take high level players and you put them on a default pin, they're going to see the wizard mode fairly quickly. That's just the way it is. But the large majority of players out there are average to below average players. There's a lot of people that collect pinball machines that are casual to the point that they won't see all the features on their game, no matter how long they have it. I've had to explain to people that there's a diverter on their Rush LE that they've had for over a year and a half. So, and that, that's perfectly fine. It's not everybody gets into pinball to know every single little nuance of a game and know all the rules and be elite level with their flipper skills, so on and so forth. I know I play Xbox video games all the time. It's not like I'm going to go play MLG and go do Call of Duty against Nade Shot or somebody like that, So I think something like the XP system, I think is cool for those players overall. And there's a lot of those players out there. So I think when people start discovering this game on location, they're going to find, oh, this is different. This is interesting. I'm seeing different parts of the game that I haven't got to see with other games before. And we talked about this a couple of podcasts ago. I personally would like to see an XP system across the board. I think it would look cool. But at the same time, I do respect that the individual software people that are associated with different games, they may not want that with their game. They may have a totally different vision of it. But I do think that if a manufacturer is able to adopt this across the board to enable people to know that when they're getting a game, they could play through it eventually. They'll eventually get to see the end game to it without it just being an option at the start button, just to skip everything. So something in that is pretty cool for people to know that they can hit start, they can play the game, and then they will see a wizard mode on it. And not just a mini wizard mode, they'll see the very end of the game. And something like that I think is unique. And I can tell for my kids that's something that they're firmly interested in. Like I have a 12-year-old that plays, and he can make it to a couple of wizard modes on certain games. But my 13-year-old, he hardly ever plays, but this game, he wants to play all the time because he's thinking to himself, I can actually see the end of the game.
Yeah.
So something like that, an extreme casual like that, yeah, I think that'll be a big deal for people. And I'm interested to see how that plays out. When these launch parties go off in mid-October and people start seeing this game more and more, I'm curious to see what that does for it.
Yeah. And that's something I said my brother, he's technically played it almost as much as I had. And, I've beaten Knull twice, and he has gotten into, like last night, he got into a battle and he was one shot away from finishing the battle. But like, you could tell he was into it. He was into it. It was a rush. Like he's ready though. But what's cool is like, he can get back to that point and he'll be more experienced than before. So that battle is going to be a little easier. Like that's something that I'm excited to see Jared over the course of me owning this game. He's going to work his way up and hopefully get all the way to Knull, and to see that satisfaction when he hits that final blow is going to be really, really cool. And that's something, I mean, there's no other pin like that. That's going to give some player that type of thing.
Tom, when are you going to go play Venom next? I saw McCarty putting up some scores, putting them on Facebook.
Probably next week sometime.
Okay, good. You got to defend the honor of our podcast.
Yeah.
Against Triball.
Damn right.
I think it just says a lot, though, about the game because, the fact that, Travis, you're enjoying it. I
enjoy the speed run.
Yeah, you're enjoying the speed run aspect of it. Like, that is unique. You enjoy it for what it is.
Because, like I said, it's something different. If I try to speed run Planet X, I'm going to F that up so many times that it's just going to drive me insane. And that's why I was even asking you, Joel, that is there any way, because I was trying to figure this out, if I know that I messed up my speed run, could I just wipe out all my progress and start from the beginning? And right now it's not in the game. I think something like that's probably coming at some point. I hope it is, because the speed run aspect of it is pretty cool. And I think that's something that people could go to an arcade and take $10 and say, I'm going to go for a legit speed run on this game and grind it out. You can do that. That is entirely possible. There's an achievement on there for 35 minutes. You get gold. So it's doable.
I will tell you, Half Shell Challenge, which is a speed run mode within Turtles, that challenge, I played the heck out of that until I got under 100 seconds because that was a goal. And I could see this being the same thing. I find a speed run, in my mind, a whole lot more entertaining than just to set a bigger GC. I don't know. That's just me. So I'm excited. I love that Stern gave Dwight the freedom to explore this avenue. I'm excited to see where this goes. The whole progress or XP system, or level system and how it's built into a pin. So overall, I'm really enjoying this game. I'm really enjoying this game and I'm excited to play it while I have it. And we'll see, when it leaves, if that's something like, crap, I miss that. I miss having that. Or if this is just the beginning or the first of many games here on out that are going to have some sort of experience or level type system. So I think that was a pretty good coverage of our Venom experience so far. But yeah, that was thing 1 on our list, right? Yeah. Our list is gone because we had to restart. I think thing 2 was tournament talk. Was that right? Going off?
Yes, that was. Well, yeah, we've played some tournaments recently. Joel, have you played any pinball tournaments?
Nope, still haven't. That's a no. Haven't done that. I know it's been a while since we recorded, so we can start with. Travis, I know you went to Seattle. I know that was a thing.
Yep. Went to Seattle and I ended up taking 7th. It would have been 5th, but ZMAC screwed me over by beating me on the very last game. Freaking ZMAC, I swear. World champion. Kicking my ass.
Anything that stood out, to you or
I mean, I would say that was my first time to ever be in Washington. So the weather was awesome. I like the huge ass trees. That's different. You don't see those in Oklahoma or Missouri for that.
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was different though. We played a Papa card format, but it was 2 cards. So for those that don't know, that's where you play 5 games and you have to play all the games in a row and they all go onto 1 card. We had to do that twice and you can play as many cards as you want. But oddly enough, it actually made it easier to qualify. It just felt easier compared to something like Indist, where if you mess up even once, you're just fully screwed. So
when you say play it twice, are you playing 10 games in a row, or you do 5 games in a row that you qualify? You could have
it's 2 cards.
And then you can
Yeah, your 2 best cards. So I can play 10 cards, and whatever is my 2 best cards.
Got it. Okay.
Do you know what a card is, Joel?
I do. I remember. That's what he just explained a little bit. Where it's
we're going to bring Joel to Indisc with us one day.
It's the consistency. That's the main thing. It's not a pump and dump where you're just let me work on my 1 score on 1 game and just try to keep going. No, you do
pumping, but you don't do any dumping. Because if you dump, then you're voiding, re-queue, new card.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that because each card is $20 or something like that. But no, it was a lot of fun. Anybody that is into tournament pinball, I would say check out the Northwest Pinball Championships up there in Seattle. It's the prize pools were huge too, which was awesome. I mean, it was something like $3,000 some odd for first place. And I think I got 600 or 700 for taking 5th through 8th. So
Nice.
it definitely was pretty good prize pools out there, and nice people as well. Great community, just a lot of fun.
Cool. And then I know, Tom, you recently, just last weekend, played at Cleveland. I know that was you qualified high. I remember going into finals. You were in a good spot. You had a bye and all that stuff.
And I tanked.
You tanked.
No, I mean, there were a lot of good players there, but I really started out my playoff run bad. I took 2 lasts on my first 2 games, and I ended up winning the Sega Godzilla game, not the Stern Godzilla game, and had a tiebreaker with Bill Mason, and the tiebreaker was on Rush, and so you would thought I would have won it, but Bill crushed it and knocked me out of the tournament.
Yay.
No, it was all good. I had fun.
Well, that's what matters, right? I mean, it seems like the competition was good. The stream was odd because the streaming that weekend was a little odd.
Why would you say that?
Well, they had two people streaming, and that was sarcasm. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, was it throwing you off that there was 2 separate streams going on, and then somebody was doing the commentary from directly behind the players?
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
I didn't have an opportunity to watch a ton of it, but I remember I went to tune in, and I'm like, "What's going on? Like, this is women's right now?"
Well,
and then the other one, it's like classic. What like?
I had multiple people texting me, and they were like, "Where's the main? Where's the classics or whatever it was?" And so I had to tell them that there's 2 separate ones. Apparently, they had no idea. They were watching the women's event the whole entire time, and then I got confused because I didn't realize there was a women's event because I just flipped on Twitch. And I didn't bother really reading through anything. I just saw, oh, wait, that looks like that's the classics being played right there or whatever. I just clicked on it without thinking because I don't have the volume on. So, yeah, apparently that was kind of confusing for everybody. But then when I realized what was going on, it was kind of entertaining watching somebody do the commentary directly behind the players during main, like with a little lav mic right there. I think we need to do that someday, Tom.
just
be
follow
Joel
around
around with the camera, just commentate his gameplay.
It's like golf commentary, when they're off to the
That's
side.
what I was
That's
thinking.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So he's stepping up to the pin here. He's going to plunge the ball. I'm ready. Sign me up. Sign me up on that. Oh, look, he plunged and got 0 points.
I mean, did you win a lot of money,
Yep.
Tom? Prize pool's pretty good out there at Cleveland.
There were Northwest caliber, but
Did you make enough to pay for dinner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I
DeBellas.
won $80 for
there we go.
ninth place.
Shout out to DeBellas.
So.
And this
yeah.
was this was one of the first tournaments you played in a while without Neil. And I think the verdict was he's a huge distraction and you play better without him. That's what we're hearing.
It was amazing. I must have had 50 people come up to me like, "Where is Neil?" And I was just like, "Neil is dead."
Neil is dead. He's at college. Yeah.
No, I'm like, he's in college. He's got to concentrate on that.
It's Daddy's turn to reign.
Yeah.
He'll come back to Indisk.
So what's your next tournament then, Tom, that you have coming up?
I strangely enough, I leave tomorrow morning for Pinball at the Lab.
Oh, that's out in California, right?
Correct.
That's Carl D'Angelo, baby.
Yeah,
Right?
Jim Belcito too.
Okay. All right. Well, that stream will be good. I can count on that. No knock on the other
What are you
streamers.
saying?
But this was
He's saying the person that streams all the Fox City stuff at District 82 is just shit. I think that's what Joel's trying to say.
I'm saying. I'm
That's
just
what I was
saying.
thinking.
We are
I
spoiled.
didn't stream anything.
We are spoiled. There are different tiers of tournament streams. Some are better than others, but at the end of the day, the fact that a lot of these tournaments are streamed, we are spoiled by that. So when I hear, "Hey, one of you guys are in stream," okay, the kids are in bed, this or that, I assume I'm going to be able to pull out the phone, hop on Twitch, and
Should
find
all be
whoever's
lucky.
streaming that, and I'm going to be able to watch it.
Lucky that we go out and stream these
Yeah.
damn tournaments.
Yeah, thank your pinball streamer next time. Next time you're
did-
at a tournament, thank the person streaming it.
I did want to say the Northwest Pinball Championship, one hell of a game, like at the end on Congo. I mean, that was freaking amazing. Like you had Jim Balsito like killing it, and then you have Kaylee George coming back and killing it. Go back and watch that. It was on what was it, Geek Gamer TV? Something
Yeah.
like that.
And I'm a little
Okay.
salty too because there was a hoops game in the quarterfinals that was the most epic hoops game that I can
And-
remember for a tournament.
And it
It had
didn't get
Escher,
streamed.
Leslie Ruckman, Jim
El
Balsito,
Rocco.
and Carl D'Angelo. And it was not on stream. I was very
Oh.
disappointed by that because Balsito put up 10 million on his last ball to come all the way back in order to, I think that was to advance or is to do something. And Leslie just killed it as well. So yeah, there's just a lot of great pinball being played out there.
Well, good.
Is that enough tournament talk for you, Joel? Or
I mean,
We can talk about how you didn't come back and defend your 89th place
I sure
position.
didn't. I sure didn't. One thing that wasn't mentioned. No, I mentioned it obviously at the beginning was, we have this dog now, and I still have 2 children, and so me finding time to leave the wife, the children, and now a dog at home for me to do what I want to do it's hard to do.
You see what's going on here, Tom?
I am locked in on Pinball Expo, and I'm not going to do
Are you playing in
anything
the tournament at
to
Expo?
break that. I don't.
Didn't
I wasn't
so
planning
I
on it.
remember, didn't Josh Sharp say that he would actually make an exception
He
that
would
you
allow
could get coaching? During Expo?
Can I still
We-
sign up for that? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's
you
there's
can
no
walk
cap.
in.
Okay,
course you can.
This might happen. This might happen. We'll see.
That would be hilarious. I would stay for Expo to watch that. I'm not planning on going, but if you do that, I would watch it.
You would?
The
Would you
Expo
coach?
format
Would I coach?
changed
Would
a
you
Do you
little
coach?
really
bit.
want me trying to coach
Was
you?
that-
Because I would just troll you and say the wrong thing.
What were you saying? Has the Expo format changed?
Yeah, slightly. Like there's qualifying on Wednesday now, and the number of entries I think increased.
Is it
But s-
25 entries and top 16 get used or something like that? I
something
thought I
like
saw
that.
somebody post something about that.
Something like that.
I don't
There you
know.
go, Joel.
I'll have to look into that. But that's
Everybody
what I'm
makes
locked in on.
finals, Joel. Everybody makes finals.
Well,
What are your opinions on pump and dumps? Like there is not a pump and dump in Wisconsin, and I think there should be.
I think Triple Drain's going to have to host a pump and dump. That's what it is.
We're gonna have to.
I see a line of games right behind you there, Tom.
We could fit
It
some
might get a
people
little
in there.
cramped, but we could try.
Put them in the garage.
But I'm trying to think other tournaments real quick. Oh, UK Open. You want to plug that? I'm going to
Yes.
that. I leave on Monday. So today's Thursday night, and I leave Monday for London.
Cheerio.
out there.
oh
play.
yeah, the UK Pinball Open, right?
Yep, our buddy Neil McRae.
The one, the only.
Joel, what are you looking at
It's
right
gonna
now?
be-
Are
trying
you
to
trying to
pull
buy
up
another
questions.
dog so you don't have to go to tournaments?
I was
Is
trying
that-
to. We have questions, and I was trying to
Okay.
pull them up.
Oh, you're right. We're supposed to answer questions. All right,
Yeah,
bring
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry. I looked distracted.
No, go ahead.
And the fact that I would be just.
Sorry to
I'm not
bother
taking away
you.
from Neil McRae. Neil McRae,
I'm
I'm
just-
glad you're flying. Glad you're flying across country.
He's-
Neil McRae is going to do an awesome job.
He's coming
I'm not
to pinball
flying
at the
across the
lab.
country. I'm flying across the ocean, Joel.
Yeah, yeah.
I will-
The UK
will
Open is
repeat
not in
myself.
America.
Neil McRae is coming to pinball at the lab.
He goes to everything. It's crazy.
Is he really?
He does not go to every.
He goes to a lot. For a
He
guy
goes
that
to-
lives across the ocean, he comes to a lot of tournaments in North America.
Got some change.
Well, that'll be exciting. And yes, check that out. That'll be a fun stream to watch. I know the hours will be a little more challenging because that'll be overseas. But Neil always puts on a good show. That'll be really interesting to watch.
That-
Pinball at the Lab is going to be awesome. That'll be a lot of fun to watch. I know Carl said he had like an ear infection or something, so I hope he gets better and can play because he's awesome to watch. So yeah, there's a lot of tournament fun coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, just looking at the date, I mean, it's going to be roughly a month before Pinball Expo. So hopefully we can record again before then to kind of do a
What about Super Series?
Oh, are you
were
gonna
talking
be at,
about it earlier?
when
you're
Super
coming
is
to
that early
Expo-
October?
Yeah, it's like mid-October.
Nice.
But Joel, if you're coming to Expo, are you going to be at the Stern Pro Circuit Finals to
I
watch?
was- I
Are you
don't think I
coming
was
to that?
invited to that. Is that at Josh's house?
No, it's at Interium. It's open to the public. It's that
that's
Wednesday.
the Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know yet when I'm going up, but that could be fun. If you're in the area, I would like to make a swing out of the way to say hi to Travis.
I'm playing in the event, Joel. Yes, please. You can show up and play.
you.
You could even play for me if you want to.
I don't know if that's legal, Travis.
Josh will make an exception.
Although
Josh would
the
probably be
other
okay.
competitors might allow it.
I have a wild card right here. You guys are in trouble. We're playing all 5 games on Venom. Can't wait.
Joel's trying to log into his insider.
Yeah, how do I bring? Oh, just to clarify that real quick, I was listening to Slam Tilt Pinball podcast and
Mr. Stone, you need to wait. I need to log in.
Yeah, Bruce Nightingale. That's right. That's his lesson. Bruce was complaining. He's like, I think it's dumb because I don't want to be in a tournament and somebody walk up and log in and just beat me because they have more experience points. Dwight was quick to point out
fix for that.
Well, yeah, tournament mode it doesn't have it, but
take out the damn dongles.
That would work too. But Dwight did say you don't score more points with higher XP. Like it's not like somebody just logs in and immediately scores more points. But I could see there is a benefit though of if I log in, I'm already level 10.
The Grindle.
Yeah,
you can get further.
I'm
in the
already
game
at
quicker.
level 30. Let's go.
But there is a new setting for it though that you can make it to where it's competition until you turn the game off. So no matter what you do, it'll stay in competition.
Yeah, that's pretty slick. Smart
pretty
move.
Slick. Yep, pretty smart.
All right.
Questions. Let's do this.
Questions. I got to pull it up here. So I'm going to start with Patreon. Let's just do some quick math. We're at 31 minutes of our second recording, an hour and 20 of our first. So we're already at an hour 50 of recording here. So we probably shouldn't go too much longer.
No, we'll go as long as they need. People have questions. Tom's ready to answer it.
We're going to start with a very short, easy, simple question here.
No.
With the economy the way it is, do we see some pinball companies close their doors in the next 2 years?
Yes.
Year or two. Also, with new pinball mystery companies on the verge of revealing, will there be any market share for them?
They're screwed.
I think it's answered well. I mean, I agree. This is a rough time to start a brand new pinball company, and unless you come out with a crazy killer theme or a crazy killer remake, it's going to be really hard to get your foot in the door. And yes, do I feel like out of some of the companies that are currently manufacturing games, some of them have kind of struggled the last year or so, and I don't know. I don't know how long you can struggle before your doors get shut. I don't know.
What was the question again? Is there dealers and distributors that will go, or manufacturers?
No, this was pinball
manufacturers.
Companies. Well, pinball companies could extend. I mean, pinball manufacturers, I think there's a chance, yes, we could potentially lose a pinball manufacturer in the next year or two. I think distributors, like Travis is hinting at, there's a lot of distributors out there that are stuck on a lot of allocation. And if all your money's tied up in the pins that you're not selling right now, then you're in trouble.
I mean, it's the law of averages of any business. You know, you go through a downswing, not everybody comes out of that. There's going to be people that will tap out. They just don't want to mess with it anymore. And that's just the nature of business.
Yep. Brian Cosner, do you have one favorite piece of clothing pinball related that you wear on a regular basis? I wear this TPN hat a lot because I like the way it fits. I also have a 3/4 sleeve shirt from Electric Bat Arcade that I'm a big fan of. Not to mention every bit of Triple Drain merch. Yeah. We'll go with that. Travis, you wear your Triple Drain hat a lot.
I did, and then my son took it from me. So now he wears it all the time. I need to order another one.
I'll plug it for you, Tom. New Fox Cities logo. There's a new Fox Cities logo out there. So there's some new Fox Cities merch. So update your merch game. All the people that want to support Fox Cities.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. You're welcome. Tony V, since the arcade nerds are venturing into pinball, why don't you talk about At Games Legends Pinball 4K Addams Family themed V-Pin? There's it's a kind of a smaller V-Pin that was released that is themed after Addams Family with a bunch of V-Pin games on it. Is this
visual pinball's like porn? It's just not the same.
It's just not the same. Okay.
Is this like a real product or what is it?
Yeah, this is a real thing you can buy. It's kind of like how,
really?
Do
I have to be 18 to play it?
No, it's not. There's no relationship to porn. Jeez. It's kind of like the arcade 1-ups for arcade games, but this is kind of smaller virtual pins.
So you can go to Costco.
Yeah, it gives you a taste of pinball. But that's my thing is I think, is it good for the hobby? Probably, because I think it's giving people a taste of pinball.
Yeah, I mean,
and if they enjoy that, they may want to go one further and get a home pin or get a home edition.
Or go to their local bar and play actual pinball.
Yep, there's nothing wrong with it. I wish I had a legitimate virtual pin at my house just so I could load up all kinds of different games and go through the rule sets and stuff like that before tournaments, games that I'm not familiar with.
Well, you can do that without having a virtual pin, and you just do it on your computer or with Xbox. I mean, you're playing with a controller, but you can still learn rule sets that way.
Any pin on my Xbox?
I know you definitely can on PC.
So the answer is no.
PC you can.
PC you can?
Well, yeah, like visual pinball and all.
Yes.
Okay, so that was Patreon. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Really appreciate that. If you want to support us, check us out, Triple Drain at Patreon or on Patreon. Support us that way. It's awesome.
Thank you for supporting Joel.
Yeah. Thank you for supporting us.
Oh, thank you for getting Joel another dog.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. We have one.
Dog food is not cheap, people. It is not cheap.
Joel wanted to do lunch boxes. We could have done like doggy chew toys.
Joel does not pick up his own dog's excrement, so he hires somebody to do that, and you need to support that.
Currently, the excrements are more inside the house than they are outside the house, so it is all getting picked up.
The maid is pissed.
When I finished my stream yesterday, I looked down. It was 11:55. It was close to midnight, and I got a text from my wife, and it said, "The dog has shit everywhere in our bedroom, and it is not solid. I need you up here now." So I said, "All right, guys." Yep. I said, "It's looks like I'm shutting down the stream." And 2 days prior, she had bought luckily like a carpet cleaner vacuum, like one of the liquid ones, and so I mean that cleaned it right up. But it was a.
Is there a recording of that somewhere then?
What? On
stream? On YouTube? Can you?
Yeah, just go to my last stream and look at the end. That's how I ended the stream.
Did you just read it?
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yep. Well, I didn't wheel the rig into the bedroom to show off all the landmines.
Did she just leave it like that?
That's all she sent me. That's all the text I got.
She didn't even try to clean live streaming on Facebook. He's like, "There's shit everywhere."
Yeah. I went up there and it was rough. It was at a bad spot. So I
Joel's
took the dog.
wife's like, "I'm in bed. He's streaming.
Yeah.
I can smell it, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to wait till he's done."
I smelled it as soon as I got to the first level, and we're talking about a second level. Is where it was. Oh, something else.
So when is the dog going back?
That's what I'm wondering.
I will tell you that it was just a few days in, and my wife sent me a text, and she goes, "I will admit it. I made a mistake. We probably shouldn't have got this dog at this time. We could return it, but we're not going to get our money back." I'm like, "That's not
okay.
We
Think
can get
about
through
how
this.
much carpet you're going to save.
This. Yeah.
At this point, it's not one of your kids.
This too shall pass, Joel.
I know. All right. What's your favorite?
He's just trying to avoid coming to tournaments, Tom. He's not going to get rid of this dog. He's going to act like he hates it, but he's going to keep it around.
You have to train your dog to go outside.
No. Joel will clean up as much shit as possible to avoid tournament pinball. He will continue to clean up dog shit.
Don's Pinball Podcast. Why are no pinball manufacturers printing on the undersides of the playfield? I think Deep Root had done that, or there's more than one. I see it.
And look how well there's.
Yeah, there's value in your assembly, but after that, you don't need it. So,
didn't Gottlieb like they used to put like where the mechs go?
Yeah, I could see it's not a value for the customer; it's a value for your assembly line, and that's
I mean,
Yep.
Let's cut some costs somewhere.
Yeah. Patrick here. Are the JJP add-ons for Godfather LE pissing off CE buyers? Yep. We talked about that a little bit. Does Zach love his P3 or just not? I don't know. That's a Zach question. Flipping Out has one that he got in on trade, and Zach's been very vocal about his views on P3 before, so we'll see how that goes. Is Venom Pro an empty game compared to the premium? I was expecting that, or I was expecting it to feel that way, but I don't. Like, I'm really not. I'm really having a lot of fun with the Pro, so I'm looking forward to the premium being that much better. Is the pinball balloon deflating? We kind of already talked about it a little bit. What pins are holding their value? And then what themes would be an instant buy for each of you if it's released? So our pins, what pins are holding their value? How about that? Do we know?
Not a lot, I would think. I think ultra rare stuff is. I don't know. Travis, you probably know better.
Sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean, JJP's. That game
I don't
still
even
seems
think,
to be really high.
I mean, it's still really high, but I don't think it's anywhere near probably what it was.
I would
6 months to a year ago.
Right. I would say generally everything is starting to go down. I've even seen Godzilla premiums priced at map pricing.
Yeah.
And you never saw that during the past couple of years. So yeah, I think that prices are just generally coming down on everything. And the one thing to really keep an eye on is what the used market is going to be. I'm seeing pros at around 5,000, 5,200 right now. And I don't remember even seeing it at that price, except for when MSRP used to be $58.99 or somewhere right around there, where you'd find one for about $800 less. But yeah, that's pretty crazy because it's $69.99 is the price point for a pro. So when you're seeing some of these used games show up for between 5,000 and 5,500, like I think a lot of them will settle in at 5,500 too, because you see so many going out there. So many are going out to breweries.
Supply and demand.
Yep, there's so much supply. It's just, going to happen.
So the other question there, what themes would be an instant buy for each of you if released? To me, my dream theme was Turtles. That's already happened, but Batman the Animated Series would be, if they ever did a Batman the Animated Series version of the game, I'd be all over it. Otherwise, I know I'm a big Blade Runner fan, but I don't know how they do that. Mad Max would be one that I think would be an awesome pinball machine. So those are the ones at the top of my list. Tom has Rush, so Tom's ready to die a happy man.
I was just going to say, I got a couple. Like Matrix would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter, of course. Band pin. I'd like to see a Van Halen. Yeah.
Sure.
Superman.
And Travis, you're what? Like Mountain Dew, the pin? That would be your...
I would do...
Supreme 2.
Yeah.
Supreme 2.
I would do South Park, Matrix, and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, that's Monica. Monica's mentioned that.
Good.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, you're locked in. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, if it's a Super LE, I'm totally
I'd be
screwed,
into those.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have? Neil McCrae was talking about UK Open. We talked about that. Definitely check that out. That'll be streamed on Backhand Pinball on Twitch. Definitely check that. Matt McCarthy, games that are not good for competitive play.
McCarty. It's McCarty.
My bad. I threw an H in there.
I think he's a Patreon supporter too. Thanks for fucking that up, Joel.
I threw an H in there. I would like to hear Tom and Travis's thought on what makes a game bad for competition.
Any game with a shot that's repeatable 50 times and you can score a bunch of points on it is bad for competition.
Agreed. Something like that. Just anything to where there's scoring imbalances that's just incredibly noticeable. I mean, it's hard to get a pin that's just completely balanced, but we're talking about something that's so egregious that you just completely ignore everything else on a game. And you'll sometimes see that on older games, which is, it's fine. It is what it is. But if you see it on a modern game, then that's no bueno. You don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yep. Or I know, what is it? Police Force, where it's like has the ability to steal another player's score or player four, like the catch up or
came up recently.
Yeah.
I think,
Stephen Bowden.
Yeah. There's stuff like that that's interesting.
It was the first time that was ever done at District 82, which is crazy as well. Nice. But it's not the easiest thing to do because he has it set so high. You got to hit the ramp like 8 times in a row. And
It's
Yeah.
it's enough that they let them play it, right? That it's in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, so even though that is kind of a crazy rule, you
It's
just
just
feel
so
it's fair
rare.
enough.
I mean,
Okay.
it would be nice if somebody could actually like come up with a new code for that game. I think that game would be fun to play in a tournament, but it's just not unless you bastardize the middle ramp and
Yeah.
take away that scoring option.
All right. And that's something that I know when I got into this hobby, realizing there's certain games that are like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, some people just freaking love Indiana Jones and they think it's the greatest game ever made. But I've
It
never
is.
seen it. I've never seen it in a tournament though. And that's because it's not a good tournament pin for some reason.
The Williams game?
Yeah.
That's fine,
That's fine.
I think.
It's fine.
No. I'm trying
Not
to think
great.
of
The
it's
Stern
fine.
one is the one that's kind of
Stern one's
Yeah.
horrible for tournaments.
Well, I was trying to think of there was some game that I remember it's loved by the majority of people, but it's rare that it's in a tournament just because it's not balanced well, or it's just very one thing, like you're saying, like, yep, every player is going to be doing the same tactic. It doesn't, they're ignoring 95% of the game. They're only going to do one thing the whole time, which isn't very fun. But speaking of tournament, Colin's asking, has anybody in a tournament, with people like swapping out flippers for lightning flippers, has anybody ever put banana flippers on a on a game that shouldn't have banana flippers just to mess with it? Have either of you guys experienced that?
I have not.
Not in a high level tournament. I've seen it in a home tournament, and it was hilarity ensue. But yeah, not out in the general public.
All right, for you two, one overrated and one underrated game for tournament play.
That's a good question. Who asked that one?
Tom.
Wasn't me.
That's a very good question.
Kitty.
What'd you just say?
CECK.
Oh, okay.
ITTI.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Let's see. One underrated and one overrated.
I'm so sorry, Tom. I don't know. I don't know how to say your last name.
That is such a tough question.
That's very tough.
Well, you think about that. While you're thinking about it, Cohen had asked, do I buy the World Cup Soccer 94, which is 400 miles from my house? Or do I buy a Dirty Harry, which is 40 miles from my house? Both are the same price.
I would say Dirty Harry, personally. I like both games. I just think World Cup Soccer, it's fun for what it is, but Dirty Harry, though it has a lot more nuance, I think a player could appreciate a lot more, especially if you're only traveling 40 miles for it. It's the same price.
Sure. And then the follow-up is, or do I wait for the new Elwyn? So I think that's probably the right answer.
Well, you didn't say that part.
I know, but I wanted you to pick between the two.
In that case, you just get both
You
Dirty
just
Harry and
wait.
World Cup Soccer then, and you just wait.
And then
Your only
you sell it.
choice.
Well, that's about it. Somebody asked us to talk about toothpaste. I'm a Sensodyne kind of guy now because wait, no, Mr. Dentist. What all the
I am not fielding dentist questions.
but all
making
of the toothpaste commercials
what?
say
If you
9
ask
out of
me a
10 dentists
dentist
recommend.
question, Yeah, if you ask me a dentist question, I am on the clock and I am getting paid for it.
I just want to hear a recommended toothpaste. That's it. What 9 out of 10
I
dentists
technically
recommend?
work in pinball, Tom, and I'm not getting paid right now.
I do Colgate Total.
Toge
Okay,
Gold.
there you
Okay,
go.
there
We
we
got-
go.
we got another
That's what we
Approved.
give out at our office.
9 out of
Whoever
10
asked
dentists,
that, we're going to invoice them.
yeah,
For
Wayne
Tom.
Wayne Sager.
That'll be the
Yep.
last dental
Colgate
question
Total.
I answer. Unless you're paying me for the advice.
Do you want me to try to get a sponsorship from Colgate for this show?
Should. Be making a
All
lot
right.
more money.
Well, we're gonna end that. We had some really good questions here.
All right.
Yeah.
I got my underrated and
I'm ready.
overrated
Let's
ones.
hear it.
Okay.
All right. I think underrated for me would be Black Knight, Sword of Rage. I think in a tournament that it's a lot of fun. It's got risk reward because obviously you have to hit risky shots just to light modes, right? And then you got to hit risky shots in order to light your 2x multiplier. So there's certain things that you can do on that game that it's not always safe. So for me, that makes a fun tournament pin, and I wish you could see it a lot more in tournaments. I got used to playing that a lot down in Oklahoma City, and I just remember I played it in finals too at the Northwest Pinball up there in Seattle also. So I think that's a very underrated tournament pin. If somebody wants to get a hold of one, then that's a fun game to play. Overrated, I would say, and I love this game too, but I will probably say it's overrated because it's just played out so much. Probably Attack from Mars. And I say that somebody that would pick it all the time, just because it's very much hitting the same shots over and over and over again, just getting to total annihilation, using that just to pick off, ships if they're open. And then if you get into your multi-ball and you happen to get a super jackpot, well, then you're all in on multi-ball all day because those jackpots are built up so high. So yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go on a limb and say overrated for tournaments just because it's just played out so darn much, but it's still a lot of fun though.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this.
Underrated Rush.
Underrated WWE WrestleMania.
No.
What?
Everybody hates that fucking game, but I love it because I can kick everybody's ass on it. So therefore, it should be
Underrated.
used in every tournament.
Okay.
And then overrated. Everybody's gonna hate me for this. Godzilla.
Oh, Keith Owen right in at
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith.
and
But-
why?
No, I'm just one. It's in every tournament.
Mm.
Like you can't go to a tournament without it being in. And second, I just don't like the mini wizard modes. People get in them and they're so long. So I just think the game plays really long. That's why I'm saying that.
And is it just I've seen that most of the time when Godzilla's on stream,
And then
you're having a long game.
And then it's set up, otherwise you have to set it up so brutal that it's not even fun to play.
Yeah. So trying to find that balance between how do I make it an appropriate length, but still make the game fun. Yeah.
Yep.
I see you.
But
Okay.
other than that, game's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
What about you, Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got one
Joel
tournament
in
under your
your
belt. What game was underrated? What game was overrated?
I'm just gonna ride that Turtles is still an underrated pin. Just it's too good. It's a lot of fun. I like seeing it. I also really like seeing people play it in tournament because it's very clear to see people that know how to play it and people that don't. Because you're not going to be rewarded points in that game unless you know what you're doing. And that was in Cleepin, which I played. That's underrated, overrated. I don't know. I believe it or not, I know Attack from Mars was I'm pretty sure was in that. I will agree with that because that is a game that I see a lot of. I see it in a lot of tournaments. I see it played a lot, and I know it's a good game, but it's just I don't know. It just seems like the layout it's easy for people to blow that up, and so that's another game that can be very long and very samey. So,
and you know what's hilarious about this, Joel? I am TDing an event this weekend for one of my sons. He wanted to have his birthday party down in Oklahoma City, and guess what is in the freaking tournament?
Turtles.
Attack from Mars.
Oh.
And guess who put it in the tournament?
You.
I did. Yes. So it's like it's reliable, but yeah. Now I want to take it out. I think I'm going to take it back.
No, I mean it's a good game. I think it's a good game, but it's
fun.
I get that it's
just very much samesies, I guess. But you could technically set it for any game, but I don't know. It just feels like it's just more the same, just over and over and over again. I think that's why I like Stranger Things better than Attack from Mars. Because I feel like I'm actually doing different things, even though the layouts are very similar. But at least I feel like I'm playing the modes. I feel like I have a reason to do different things on that pin as opposed to just blindly hit shots
Yeah.
and just wait till I get into total annihilation or isolation for that game.
But what I think's funny is I mean, at Pinball Expo, or not Texas Pinball Expo, I remember watching that tournament, and it's the difference
Festival.
between Godzilla when you guys were playing that. I mean, I know Travis, you were still in, Carl D'Angelo, I forget who the others. That's when
Karen's.
Bowen, that's right. And to see you guys play Godzilla and understand how complex that game is, and the fact that you guys, it's like, what are they going to do? How are they going to, like, how are you going to adapt to this? What strategy are they going to pull? And how entertaining that was. But then also the very next game, Taxi, where it's very obvious you know what to do, but I was still just as entertained because it was very clear what was going to do, but can they execute that thing? And that's what I think is pretty neat about watching tournament play, that two games can be drastically different in their layout, their complexity, the challenges that it presents, but it can still be very entertaining as a tournament game. So there we go. Those are good questions. Thanks to all that answered that. Please, check out our Facebook page if you want. Normally we post before we're going to stream, and you guys can obviously comment there. I feel really bad. I think we had got 1 or 2 emails over the last month, but I don't have that on my phone, so can't pull those up. So sorry about that. I will say I did get an email. Here, I'm not going to spoil it. We will make a post about it. We have a new t-shirt design. That will be, we're going to probably put it on our Zazzle store just based off what it is. And so we will post that to our social media. It's a t-shirt design
stuff. This is the first time Tom and I are hearing this.
I'm telling you right now, it's a t-shirt design that is out there already, but I pulled some strings and we are going to make it public and available to everybody. So
what do you mean it's out there already?
There are people that already have it.
What?
And others are gonna be able to get it.
So confused right now.
I am too.
Oh, it's great. You guys are gonna love it.
So people already have merch associated with our podcast, and Tom and I don't even know about it.
Interesting.
Tom, do you have any pictures from your younger days that you need to tell us about, or like what's going on here?
I have no idea what's going on, and I'm very interested to find out.
It's going to be great.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, with that said, let's plug it up. Travis, plug away.
Yeah, you guys can find me on this podcast as usual. And also, too, I do have a video finally dropping to where I'm doing commentary over on the Pinball Company's YouTube channel. I have a big, huge Venom game that's dropping. It's an hour-long game to where I scored something like 25, 30 billion points. And we're going to talk over the game and just go from there. So yeah,
so my general thought. So this is an hour-long video of you talking through a game of Venom that you played.
A full game. Yeah, I think on this one, I go through the game twice.
And
I think
during this hour-long video, did your face camera stay on the entire video?
It did not. No. So we had to change it. I actually had my video on it the whole time. And then when I was going through the editing, I was just like, shit, it went out 45 minutes into it. So,
at least it's
I ended
consistent.
up taking it off. But yeah, it's me figuring out how the game plays, just discussing general tactics to everybody. So you want to see the game, if you have like a certain thing that you want to see in it, that would be the video to go see, because I'll have it chapters and all that. So that's my one plug I'll do. And then, of course, I'll be selling lunch boxes and apparently t-shirts too with Joel's face. He doesn't know it yet. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you, Travis. Tom, plug away.
Thank you, Joel.
You can find me on this podcast, but you can also find me on Fox Cities Pinball, where I'm strapped to District 82 until Pinball Expo in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
wonderful. Thank you, Tom. And once again, check out his new merch with the new Fox Cities logo. And yes, my name is Joel. I do the Flipping Out stream every Wednesday night from 10 to midnight on YouTube. Check that out. All of our old streams are on YouTube, so you can see those. Have a lot of fun with those, as well as the Flipping Out with Friends conversations, obviously on this podcast. And then still working on hopefully getting another interview lined up. But I assume we will record again before Expo. Hopefully we do. If not, I know I will be there. I know Tom's going to be there, and then Travis might make an appearance. But if we happen to not record before that, please come and say hi. We'd love to meet you if you want to say hi, and yeah, should be a good time. But yeah, like always, Tom, you get the last words.
Joel, your Godzilla topper's on fire.